Howdy, friends.
Howdy, friends.
How is everyone doing today? I hope everyone's doing well. We took a week off last week, and I feel I don't know about you, I feel like renewed, refreshed. I know we were talking a little bit about it backstage, but I'm so happy to be here.
Agreed. Very renewed, very refreshed. The past 2 weeks have been insane.
Bananas.
I turned 28 this week.
You had a birthday.
I had a birthday, and it was insane. So, yeah, it's been a crazy week, but it's exciting to be back.
Yeah. We were both kind of comparing stacks. And yeah, it's a lot, folks. We've got a lot of books to talk about.
I might have the biggest stack I've ever had on this show.
Yeah. I think so
really
too.
do.
You shared that you got two Marvel books.
I got 2 whole Marvel books. Now, granted, it's a span of 2 weeks, but I got 2 Marvel books. But, this is insanity, guys. And we have, if you don't know, a certain movie came out this week. We have a lot to talk about this week.
We have so much to talk about. I am going to go ahead and I'm going to put, because we are going to be talking a little bit about Suicide Squad. I feel like, man, I have so many thoughts about Suicide Squad. So we're going to talk about it, and I guarantee you that we're going to run our mouths a little bit. And
it's hard not to.
It really is. So we're going to get into it. We're probably also going to get into some spoiler territory. I don't know. I mean, we'll probably talk about a lot of things. So I do want to say hello to the people in the chat. It tells me that there's 11 people watching right now. So I want to say howdy to everyone
howdy.
Here. So hello to Sam. How's it going today? Tylox, good morning. And then hello to Josue. Thank you for being here, coming for the comic, staying for the Suicide Squad review. Yeah, I think I had messaged you yesterday or maybe the day before, and I was like, hey, did you watch Suicide Squad? And then you told me no. And then I hopped on Twitter and I saw that Josue had literally tweeted at the same time, I'm waiting for at that comic girl's Suicide Squad review. And I'm like, we must have done this at the same time and not even known it. So
probably.
I do want to say hello to Brandon. Brandon's got a question, and we will come back to if we could be trained by any Jedi, who would it be? We will get to that in a couple moments. And then hello to our friend Bobby. Thank you for being here. Bobby was apparently trained by Master Mace Windu. So hello to John, one of my favorite people. I mean, everyone's my favorite people, but I really love John and his girls. And then hello to John Thomas. Hello. Good morning, ladies. Missed you both. Oh, we missed you. Howdy, friends. Hello to Travis. Thank you so much for being here. Travis just saying hello to everyone, stationing everyone. Thank you. Everyone's saying hi to everyone. Hello to Tim Crocker. Tim, I think you left a message saying that you came over because of Bueller. Thank you so much for being here.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. Oh no.
I'm just going to apologize to chat real quick because if you can't tell, I look a little different. So if I just sit here the whole time and play with my bangs, it's because I'm still getting used to them. And I'm just staring at myself and I'm like, who is this weird person?
Who's she?
Who is she?
I love it. Good morning to Sheena. Hello. One of our favorite.
We love you.
And then hello to one of my other favorite people, one of my besties, Nicole. I love you. I miss you too. We're all stacked this week. There's so many stacks.
It's a big week.
It's a lot. Damn, Mars looking good this morning. Oh, I love you so much. And then hello to Brother Joe, Bro Joe. I hope you don't mind if I say Bro Joe. It's easier for me. Manic 23. Thank you so much. Evening, comic folk. Okay, so I guess on the over on the East Coast where it's in the future, it is afternoon. I should probably not say good morning. I should probably say good day.
Good day. Good day, mates.
Good day. Good day, friends. Hi, Krishna. Oh my goodness, it keeps living on me. Watching Suicide Squad movie tonight. Okay, so we just, like the ticker down here says, we're going to get into a little bit of spoiler territory.
But we'll try to give you warning before spoilers, and we'll try to keep all the spoilers in one section. No promises, but if I'm being honest, there's not a lot in this movie that can be spoiled. Maybe there is. Okay, I lied. There's a lot in this movie that can be spoiled. I take it back.
Okay. So let's go ahead and what's on everyone's hearts and mind.
Well, no, we have to answer Brandon's question.
That's true. Thank you. I'm just going to what is the phrase? Concede the floor. Is that the phrase that I'm looking for?
Concede the floor.
I don't know. Whatever. I'm gonna let you have the floor on this one because I mildly like Star Wars. I guess I'm not a big. I couldn't really tell you. I know the one with the lightsaber is the Jedi who I'd be trained by.
The one with the lightsaber.
Yoda.
Yoda.
I'll carry him on my back, I guess. I don't know. Is that the correct
answer?
I feel
like Yoda would have the hookup with like dope edibles and shit.
For real though. I think that
That's why you would want to hang out with him. We see through the lies of the Jedi. If I had to be trained by a Jedi, well, first of all, I'm just gonna put it out there. I have never really cared for the Jedi. I am rebel scum through and through. Like, listen, I am a pilot in Leia Organa's army. Like, hello. But if I had to pick being trained by one, Horny Mars wants to say Anakin, just because, sorry, I knew you were taking a drink and I did that specifically on purpose.
Horny
Mars wants to say Anakin because, listen, Anakin. I had the biggest crush on Anakin, but like then that would get into like creepy territory. So like I couldn't do that. So realistically, I would probably pick Ahsoka because I just think she's really cool and like I feel like she's the better part of Anakin. So like I wouldn't worry about her trying to kill me. And she's pretty cute too, so it's fine.
You know,
Jen has no idea who I'm talking about. I know
who Ahsoka is because she's the beautiful babe, and she's going to be played by
Rosario
Dawson. So I know a little bit about. I don't know where to start. So if I was going to start and get into, sorry, here's the thing: is that like I am a Trekkie through and through. So like that's where I feel like you can be one. You're not going to be both way into Star Wars and way into Star Trek. There may be people out there, but like I'm like right there on like knowing Klingon. Like that's how much I'm into Star Trek. So like I don't know a lot of
Klingon.
So like I don't know a lot, but I know like a couple of phrases. So anyways, I feel like when it comes to that Star Wars lore, I don't know too much. I really would like to know where to go with Ahsoka Tano. Because I feel like she's a bad babe.
Can you do me a favor? Can you just flash up that comment from Nicole? Because I'm sitting here trying not to scream. I've never thought about that in my entire life. And now that I have, I just want to say thank you. Yeah. Thank you so much for bringing that to attention. It is very important for us to know.
On our Nicole, on our next FaceTime chat, like I need you to tell me all about this. Like, please and thank you.
That's great. I love that. I love that.
I'm sorry that I couldn't answer your question, Brandon. Next time, give me a Star Trek question. You should know this by now.
And then I will concede the floor because I have never watched.
I'm literally so the shirt that I'm wearing it says Stovacor, and it's a Klingon death metal band here in Portland, and Stovacor is basically Klingon Valhalla.
Oh, that's awesome.
So, I mean, it was meant to be today.
It was meant to be.
Okay. Alrighty. So, now that we got the Star Wars, Star Trek, we should have like a Star Trek, Star Wars question of the day, question of the week. I don't know. We'll come up with that. So we want to talk about Suicide Squad. I know you have a ton of thoughts. I'm going to say really quick, I really enjoyed this movie. At the end of it, the entire time I was watching it, I'm like, I need to text Mars, but I watched it before you did. Yep. You did a fantastic video on the people of Suicide Squad, and like you did a chance of like, what's the chance that these people are going to live or die? And so I ended up going back yesterday and rewatching that video, and you were like spot on with a lot of these characters.
There's like one or two that I was completely off on, and I'm very upset about some of those people. But I would say that movie's pretty accurate. Now, I also feel like I did that video for nothing because none of those people's backstories were either accurate or even bought up. But hey, go watch the video and you get some fun facts, like the fact that Peacemaker's dad was an SS Nazi officer and his helmet traps the spirits of the dead people that he's killed. They don't do that in the movie.
I didn't know that, and I feel like not necessarily that I want a Peacekeeper origin movie. Like, I don't need that at all.
But you are, though, because we're getting a whole HBO Max show. Did you not know this?
I did not know this. Okay, so educate me.
We are getting an entire HBO Max show featuring John Cena as Peacekeeper. If you have seen the after credits, it directly ties into that. I don't know if I need it, but I guess if it's as funny as how he was in the movie, I'll take it. Mm-hmm. But yeah, we're getting a Peacekeeper spinoff series, y'all.
Okay, I think that would be a little bit more palatable, because if I had to sit through like a 2-hour Peacekeeper movie, I don't know if I could do it. But I think that if I could like break it up into pieces, I think I'd be okay with it. And then, of course, even if it's a Peacekeeper like origin series, then I think that it would end up being like, you'd get more other characters, right? So it wouldn't just be about Peacekeeper. We'd get to see a lot of the other characters. I really do have to mention this comment. Cisco is my favorite captain. Deep Space Nine is my favorite Star Trek series. So yeah, sorry, just had to put that out there. Tell us, I'm curious your thoughts of Suicide Squad. And once again, spoilers, we're probably going to be talking about who lives and who dies. So
I have a lot of thoughts. You've literally just opened up a can of worms.
Okay.
I think we'll just go right here. So here we go. Can we talk about Best Boy? Can we just look at it? Listen. I'm on the King Shark train today. No way. My precious baby boy literally was everything I ever wanted out of this goddamn character. The only thing I wish he had done was the Gail Simone song from Secret Six where he yells, I'm a shark, I'm a shark, I'm a motherfucking shark. Like, if anybody was going to pull a quote from the comics like that, it would have been James Gunn, but that's fine. Yeah. He was a sweet little baby angel. And every time I went to the movie with my partner and with a friend of ours, and we were in the movie, and every time that King Shark popped up, I just go, look at the little baby boy, always so good. Oh, look at the good boy. And I'm pretty sure that whoever else was in the theater with us was like, please kill this woman, because
I think they were thinking the same exact thing. I assure you.
But no way. My little angel. I want 20 more movies of just him, and I would be happy with my life.
I need a King Shark movie or a King Shark show.
I'll take a King Shark show. He does show up quite frequently on the Harley Quinn animated series, and he's got some of the funniest lines I have ever seen. So definitely run straight to YouTube and pick up a best of King Shark compilation. Also, you're holding one of my favorite Suicide Squad books of all time. I haven't read this. I've had it for like a minute, and I haven't finished it. I've gotten through like the first 2 issues of it, and it kind of makes me sad because I don't feel like King Shark is in it enough. He is not. I don't know if he's in it. He might be in it slightly.
He's like, because that's the picture that I used for the preview.
I can't remember if that's him or not. I haven't read this series in a while. I need to reread it. If he is in it, he's definitely only in it for like the first issue or so.
Okay.
But in regards to my actual feelings and my actual thoughts on this movie, because if you can't tell, I'm a huge fan of Suicide Squad. I'm a huge fan of villain team-ups, like Secret Six and Squad, and just like the first movie was such a letdown and such a disappointment that I already felt like I was like set up to be betrayed. It was kind of go in expecting the worst and hoping for the best. This movie was funny as hell. It was enjoyable as hell. It was exactly what it needed to be. That being said, my dumb goopy brain, because I love DC characters so much, when I go into a Marvel movie, I don't really think too much because I don't know that much about Marvel characters. when I go into a DC movie, I analyze everything, and I'm always like, well, what if this happened? What if we did this? What if we did that? And unfortunately, my brain was doing that at certain points of the movie, which made me not enjoy it as much as I probably should. I think on my second viewing, I'm just going to turn my brain completely off, focus on King Shark, and just have fun with it. Because there were a couple scenes where I think, first of all, I think that the characters that they picked for this movie, while I enjoyed them here, there were other characters I wish that I could have gotten. Like the lack of Deadshot. To me, I feel like you can't have a squad movie without Deadshot, and it's very weird. But there was
one spoilery kind of alert. The beginning of this movie shows a cast of characters that you think is going to be the Suicide Squad, and they end up dying. Sorry, I keep saying spoilers, but like you
don't know who. We just know that there's people that die. That is the one thing about this movie is in the last one, only one person died. And when you read a Suicide Squad book, you're usually sitting around with bated breath, wondering who's going to live and who's going to die. And that's how this movie felt. This movie definitely did throw punches at you at some of the best times.
I can't remember who Pete Davidson's character was.
Blackguard, which is a Booster Gold villain that nobody knows but me because I did a ton of research for it.
I honestly wish that he was in it more. I thought that I
just because it's Pete David, though.
Just because it's Pete Davidson. I thought that just the few moments that I saw on screen, I thought were fantastic and had a lot of good chemistry. And I honestly think that I could have a Blackguard Weasel team up movie.
And a Blackguard Weasel team up movie. I don't know how I feel about that.
You hate it and love it at the same time.
I just don't like Weasel. Every time he'd pop up on screen, I'm like, I felt like I had rabies. Like I felt like I needed to take a shower.
Oh no.
I hated that. But Nicole is actually right on that. So
Nicole is right about everything. I love
Idris Elba plays a character named Bloodsport, who is a very minor Superman villain. And fun fact, Bloodsport is a Vietnam draft dodger who ends up going psychotically insane, and Lex Luthor shows up at the psych ward one day and is like, I'm going to give you a bunch of kryptonite weapons. Go into Metropolis and have fun. And that's basically Bloodsport's character. Okay. In Suicide Squad, he turns into Deadshot 2.0. And the only reason why that is because Will Smith didn't want to return, and they originally were going to cast Idris Elba as Deadshot. Yeah. And then Will Smith threw a fit. And they were like, crap, we got to make a new character. So they I'm 90% sure they literally stole Bloodsport's name, threw it at the wall, and was like, here's a brief mention that he put Superman in the ICU, because that's all we got.
Yeah. I really think that's what happened, because, and this movie is perfect for it, where like that weird, you don't have to think too much about it. And I think this movie was just perfect to do something like that. Also, I do want to mention Weasel's eyes. Maybe the reason why I like Weasel a little bit is because he's got them Steve Buscemi eyes, and I love Steve Buscemi.
Does. He's got Steve Buscemi eyes.
Yeah, he does.
But Suicide Squad is great because you don't have to watch the sequel in order to understand this one. This one really does. Oh. It's a fresh reboot without calling it a reboot. Characters literally show up. Characters like are interacting with each other. And I've seen a lot of reviewers critique that, where it's like, all of a sudden these characters are just friends and we don't get backstory of how we're friends. And I'm like here sitting to myself, buddy, have you ever read a comic book? People come and go like it's a fucking escalator or a revolving glass door. And that's how it is. And I really enjoyed that fact. I'll go into one of my favorite parts, and then I'll go into my one, I guess, critique-ish, if you will. Mm-hmm. But Amanda Waller in this movie, perfect. Absolutely perfect. Listen, back in my old little Tumblr days, because, you know, I'm a Tumblr kid.
Yeah.
I was like, if I ever get a Suicide Squad movie, or if I ever get Amanda Waller to show up, all I want is Viola Davis to play her. Do you know what it's like to get your dream casting and then have her in a really shitty movie and then have a redemption arc? This was the Viola Davis, Amanda Waller redemption, because I've got Amanda Waller screaming. I've got Amanda Waller cursing people out. I've got Amanda Waller blowing people up.
And I think the thing about Amanda Waller's character is that she's fucking ruthless, and
She's
I love
ruthless.
that. And the fact that
She's insane, but she will never admit that she's insane because she thinks that she's doing the right thing.
Yep. And when you have these moments where she's telling Bloodsport, like, fuck your kid, like, basically,
I'm gonna
like,
kill your kid.
I'm gonna kill your kid. Like that, those moments I think really got into the essence of Amanda Waller. And I don't know too much about Viola Davis. I've seen her in a couple of other things, but I don't think that I can see her as anything but Amanda Waller now.
She's perfect.
Yeah. Speaking of which, once again, you're not reading Swamp Thing, and she's showing up a little bit in Swamp Thing, and Peacemaker shows up in Swamp Thing this week too.
Okay, maybe I will read it. Also, I agree with Josue. Josue said this movie made me actually like Rick Flag. I agree. I think 100% it is the hair. Rick Flag totally had daddy vibes in this movie, and I was like, he's kind of good to look at. Whereas in the first movie, he played generic straight white boy number 2. Yeah. But he's very nice in this movie. I love to see that for me. Yeah. In a more serious manner though. Going back to the characters that were chosen. There were scenes in this movie. There's one in particular that stands out to me. About a quarter of the way through the movie, we get this big, long action sequence between Bloodsport and Peacemaker, where they're basically trying to prove who is the better shot, because the joke of the movie is they literally have the same power. And so you get this long, drawn-out action sequence where they're killing people in different ways. They're like spitting jokes back and forth to each other. Like, pew, yeah, pew, and all I could think of was, oh my God, this is Deadshot and Catman from Secret Six. And all I wanted was it to be Deadshot and Catman. And it's at that point of the movie that I realized I love the plot of this movie. I love the character interactions of this movie. I just wish that I got more characters that I knew and loved and appreciated from the comics. Now that sounds a little selfish coming from me, but
how dare they not make this movie perfect for me?
I just want Catman to show up one day. I love Blake. I was gonna call him Blake Shelton. That's not the right name. Thomas Blake. I love Thomas Blake. Listen. I will sell my soul for a fucking Catman Secret Six movie. I don't care. This movie was literally the perfect blend of like Secret Six and Suicide Squad. Please watch this movie. Please have fun. Please just go and appreciate the precious baby boy for everything that he is, because he is literally perfect. I had a good time. I really enjoyed it. I wouldn't mind another one of these. I definitely think it's one of the better, if not the best, DC movie. I can't say that because I am a dumb whore that really likes Aquaman. And I will defend that movie until my dying day. I really like Aquaman. It was fun. It was like a Lord of the Rings underwater.
I did not enjoy Aquaman, but I also haven't gone back and watched it, so maybe I'll feel differently. I am that way about Birds of Prey, and I know that like that is like controversial, hot topic, but I fucking loved Birds of Prey so much. I can go back and regularly watch that. Wonder Woman, the first one, I really enjoyed. And
Wonder Woman is very good.
And then this Suicide Squad #2, I feel like those are the 3 DC movies for me.
The 3 top tiers.
So, I don't know.
It's a good movie. Y'all should see it. It's on HBO Max. It's on your local theater. I don't know. And if you don't want to see it, then read some Suicide Squad comics.
Yeah, which there are, like you said, there's this one by Tom Taylor.
That one is one of my favorites, although I will say it's probably one of the farthest from what Suicide Squad actually is, but it's very, very good. You have Secret Six by Gail Simone, which I will tell everybody to read until the day I die.
Read everything by Gail Simone. Just read
everything by Gail Simone. Also, I don't know if you're like me, where at the end when they give special thanks and you're sitting there in the theater and you're like, they better have credited Gail Simone. They better have credited Amanda Connor. Do you know who they did credit that I don't agree with?
EVS.
Why are we crediting EVS?
No clue. I saw that and I was like,
why?
What?
Why? Stop crediting EVS and stuff. Stop giving him royalties. Just stop talking. Let's just not talk about him. Let's let him fade into existence. But also read Suicide Squad, The New 52 by Adam Glass, because it is probably one of the only really good New 52 titles out there. But yeah, that's my thoughts on Suicide Squad. Is I enjoyed it. I can't wait to watch it again at some point, maybe today. Who knows?
Yeah. I'm really glad that it's on HBO Max, because that's going to be the only way that I watch it. I'm going to save my theater. I'm going to save my theater cherry.
Honestly, for Dune, honestly, a lot of people are like, you can't experience this at home. It has to be experienced in a theater. I disagree with that. You experience it wherever you're most comfortable with.
Yeah.
It's going to be good no matter where you watch it, honestly.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And so one of the things that I also loved about this movie is Taika Waititi was Ratcatcher. Daddy Ratcatcher.
Daddy Ratcatcher.
To
you, he is definitely Daddy Ratcatcher.
Totally. Like Taika Waititi. I don't know if he gives me daddy vibes or I'm the one giving him daddy vibes, but like whichever it is, I really appreciate Taika Waititi. 100%.
Hashtag hear me out. Taika Waititi should direct the next Suicide Squad.
I think that Taika Waititi should direct everything.
I agree.
Every single Marvel movie, just everything. Star, direct, write, all of it, please, and thank you. Just give him all the money to do all the things.
I agree. And look at that. We went through the whole Suicide Squad movie, and I really don't think we got too much into spoilers. Yeah. I think we're pretty proud of ourselves there. We just screamed about how good it was. Mm-hmm. You know, King Shark, Regency here. Best boy. Love him and Ratcatcher together. Yeah. That's great. It's a good movie, guys.
It really is. Sorry. I had cake for breakfast, and my cat is trying to eat it. I'm just trying to see if he'll come up here. So here's the portion of the show where we actually talk about comics. I don't know if you know this, but we read comic books.
We do. We do. Sometimes
we buy a lot of comic books.
We buy a lot. We don't always read them.
I don't always read them, and especially I read a lot of books from last week, but I didn't read all of them. Hey, bud, you gonna hang out?
Help! I need help.
Yeah.
Why am I like this?
Yeah. I feel like partially responsible for some of this.
Why am I like this? And you know what the worst part is that there's 2 missing because my shop, once again, unfortunately, I'm having some problems with my local comic shop where I will pre-order stuff months in advance as per what I'm supposed to, and they still won't be ordered. So that's a conversation for another day, but I don't know, man. I'm missing.
What'd you miss from this week?
The things I missed, it was Cinnamon from Behemoth. Okay. So I feel like that's just a sign that I shouldn't be reading Behemoth titles.
I think that Cinnamon, I think that I also pre-ordered that one, but I don't even think I saw it at my shop.
Maybe it got delayed. Maybe it got delayed. Maybe I'll have to double check. Listen, I know I said I would never read Behemoth comics again, but when you throw a giant pink cat that kills people at me, I'm gonna read it. I'm gonna read the book. Yeah. And then I had pre-ordered the variant for Porcelain, which we'll talk about that later on in the show, but I had pre-ordered a specific variant for Porcelain. Look, if I was going to get this book to read it, I was going to get one specific cover that I could frame later on and just be fine with. And it was from the artist who did Homesick Pilots. Caspar
Wingard. Yeah.
Wingard.
Because I think there's two A's, so it's probably like
Wingard. Because that cover is absolutely gorgeous and it fits my spooky punk aesthetic. And I was like, I can frame this later on. And they did not get it. So I unfortunately had to get the main cover and I just regret everything. But we're going to talk about comics. Finally.
I know what everyone comes here to talk about. And we've got a lot because there's a couple weeks. I don't want to go I don't want to do like last week and then this week. I kind of just want to.
We're just going to merge it.
Good, because merge it.
Because I can't remember everything.
I kind of can but only because my stacks are right here. I did. These are the books that I haven't read from this week. So
what did you not read?
I didn't read Wind number 9. I didn't read X-Men 2. surprise there.
Surprising.
Yeah, surprise there. But here's the thing.
Are you feeling okay?
I am, but here's the thing is that my shop didn't get books until yesterday, and my partner ended up going and getting them, so I didn't get them till late. And spoiler alert, I'm a big old baby and I like to be in bed at 9 o'clock.
You
so
do.
you know, I didn't have time to read it last night. And then I'm also a big old baby and I like to sleep in until 9 o'clock, which is basically what I did today. So I like to sleep for 12 fucking hours. So anyways, I also didn't catch up on Alice in Leatherland.
What?
I know, I'm so sorry. And then We Don't Kill Spiders. I didn't get a chance to get that one. And you're going to kill me for this one. I also didn't read Seven Secrets.
Well, guess what? I'm spoiling it because I
Okay.
can't. Host Wait,
figured.
if you're still in the chat, you know that I can't not spoil it.
So those were the books that I didn't read this week. And
I only have one book that okay, that's a lie. I have 3 books that I didn't read, but to be fair, I it's fine. Teen Titans Academy I didn't read because I'm honestly sick of the series. I love the series so much in the beginning, and now it's just like, what is going on?
Yeah.
I didn't read Strange Adventures because I only have one more issue, and then I'm just gonna binge read the whole thing. Why my dumbass didn't just wait for the trade, I will never know. Probably because I have a Tom King superiority complex. And then I did not read, because I haven't read them in a while, Magic the Gathering #5. I've just been collecting the covers.
Yeah.
But look at how gorgeous. I'm finally able to get.
Beautiful.
Oh my god, more companies need to do virgin variants like this because that's just great. I guess these don't count. I guess we can go into these and it'll help round off half my stack. But the final printings, is what they claim, for Stray Dogs finally came out. So we have Stray Dogs #4. Stray Dogs, I think this is issue 1. I love that it's Dracula.
Yeah.
Stray Dogs they always hide where the numbers are. #3. But this is the craft, and like that's amazing. And then Stray Dogs, this is #2, I'm assuming. But this, Stray Dogs #2. And this is for 28 Days Later. The fact that this book has managed to go to like 4 and 5 printings, and it's like 2nd, 3rd, and 4th issues is just insanity
going
to me.
5th printings. It's all because of the covers.
It is. It's because of the covers.
I could have sworn, and maybe it's just because I missed it, but I could have sworn that there was a Crow variant that came out.
There is, but it was, and here's the weird thing. For it being like a 5th printing, it was a 1 in 25 incentive invariant. Yeah. That is so bizarre.
It is. I mean, they know what they're doing.
They do.
Because all these covers are absolutely incredible. It makes me sad that I missed out on some of the earlier ones, and I know that those ones are going to be super, super popular. But I'm glad I got these.
Jeezy Creasy did just make a good point. So I will be attending. I will be attending Baltimore Comic-Con. I literally texted my partner and was like, babe, they are doing a Stray Dogs variant for Goosebumps. We have to get them. So here's the thing. We're both going to Baltimore. If it is a limit 1 per person, I will get one for me. I will make sure that he gets one for you. We'll make sure that you're covered.
You know, it's so funny because we were talking about that on the Friday show on Comic Talk Live, and Greg, Bearded Comic Bros, said something about it. And he said something about the Baltimore Comic Con, and I'm like, I know who's going to be at Baltimore Comic Con. And then it just gave me flashbacks to, because you were like, you need to come out here for Baltimore Comic Con. And I'm like, I don't know about that. And now I'm like, okay, maybe I need to go out there. Baltimore Comic Con. It wasn't that Brian K. Vaughan was going to be there, and then I can just weep at the steps of why the hell is Saga not back yet? But
hashtag hear me out. FaceTime is a thing. We can FaceTime him, and we will ask, where is Saga? Hostway, if you're in the chat, we'll get a 3-way FaceTime call going on, and you can help us pressure Brian K. Vaughan for Saga.
Stray Dogs creator at Rose City, is it going to be Tony Fleece or Trish Forstner?
Because I know Trish is going to be at Baltimore, so I'm very excited for that.
How do you feel? Let me go ahead and ask you this, and I'm curious what the chat thinks as well. I would love to hear some comments about this. How do you feel about going up to creators' tables and then basically just giving them a stack of books and being like, "Hi, can you sign these hundreds for me?" I mean, like I know some creators just don't do that, but how do you feel about that?
I feel like it's a double-edged sword because I'm the type of person where I am literally getting something signed because I absolutely love your work and I appreciate your work and I want something that I can personally have. 90% of the time I have it framed.
Yeah.
Baby Comic Mars used to hate when creators would charge for signatures. Like, why am I having to pay you when I've already bought your books? Now that I am an adult Comic Mars, and by adult and baby, I just mean like 6 years difference. I'm like, no, pay those fucking creators because the companies don't pay them nearly enough. So I always try to at least tip people, or I try to give them stuff.
Like buy a print
or buy a trade, buy something. Like I will always try, if I don't already own the trade, if it's like a trade in the back of my head where I'm like, oh, I know I want to get it, I will always try to buy it at their table. And then that way they get to keep the whole profits and, you know, then I can get it signed.
And pay, if you can, pay in cash. Because I'm not saying that they don't necessarily submit that, but usually, you know,
with PayPal, there's always extra charges and hidden fees and things like that.
And like taxes and stuff like that.
Absolutely.
So, I mean,
absolutely. So yeah, my thing is like, if you're going to get stuff signed for the sake of selling it on eBay, so like, oh, I have a great story. Is it story time?
It's story time with Mars.
It might be story time.
There should be like a 10-second like story time with Mars.
Story time with Mars. Jen always gets excited when I have stories involving comic creators.
You have the best.
I have the best, and this one you're gonna love if you haven't already heard it. So Jimmy Palmiotti and Amanda Connor are two of my. Oh, Jen is gone, but we're gonna continue to ramble, and maybe she'll hear us. So Jimmy Palmiotti and Amanda Connor are two of my absolute favorite people in comics. If you don't know who they are responsible for the new Harley Quinn. They're also responsible for Painkiller Jane, which I don't know if you can see her. She's up there somewhere, but they're two of my favorite people in comics. One year at Baltimore Comic-Con, I was standing in line, getting really excited to see them again because I see them every time they're at a convention. We always hang out and it's a great time. I'm standing behind this guy who has one of those big rolly carts, and you can tell that he's got like 7 copies of the same Harley Quinn issue that he's gonna get signed, and he's gonna like, you know, he's gonna fucking sell on eBay or whatever. And he was one of those really old, you know, the old white men that think comics only belong to them and not to women or anybody like us. So I'm standing there, and Jimmy and Amanda's assistant, handler, whatever you want to call him. I don't know what to call them. I don't want to call them handlers because it sounds degrading.
Like a hype man, or
the
like
people that help manage the table.
I just feel like it's a bouncer.
Well, no, because he helps. No, because he was too small to be a bouncer. But he comes up to me and he's like, Jimmy and Amanda saw you. They don't want you to stand in line. They want you to come up and say hi. And I'm like, oh, okay. Because that's what I do. I usually go behind a table and I hang out and I get food and I do this and we have fun. So I go to wheel my stuff up, and the white man, we're just going to call him Bob. Bob gets very upset and is like, how dare you? I've been in comics for 30 years. You probably don't even read comics. You know, rah, 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 rah. Gets very upset with me, and I ignore him and I get up to the table. Meanwhile, Jimmy can sense that something was going on in the crowd. And he asks me, you know, what's going on? And I tell him. And he literally flies up because meanwhile, Bob called me some very nasty things that I don't care about. But, you know, Jimmy Palmiotti, and if you've ever seen Jimmy, he's a very big Italian man from New York. Jimmy flies out of his chair to the point where the chair falls onto the floor and is like, you can get the fuck out of my line because I'm not signing any books for you today. Have a wonderful rest of the show. And poor Bob is left to wander the streets without his 7 copies of Harley Quinn to put onto eBay. So take that, Bob. But yeah, if you're going to get like, cause hear me out. I've gone to Gail Simone and I've gotten 45 issues signed by Gail Simone because it's fucking Gail Simone.
Yeah.
But if you are going to get multiple copies signed, because I'm sorry, creators aren't stupid. They know,
they know
when you are going to eBay, and they know when you are just a genuine fan who wants something for your collection. Just be the right person. Be the right person. That's all I'm going to say.
Yep. I think that's all of the copies that I've seen of Saga that are signed by Fiona Staples have like the person's name on them.
And that's how I am. I personally always get my name dedicated because I know it's for me and I'm never going to get rid of it.
Yeah. I agree. I like, I mean, like there would be some people where I'd be like, okay, maybe I'll get this signed and maybe like I'll spend some time in line waiting, and I don't know. I think that I can flip books. I literally still have like 6 long boxes of stuff that I just need to unload and get rid of. So I always say I'm going to sell stuff and then I just never get around to it. So there's things that I'm like, I could totally like go and get this signed, but well, I never do that. So
yeah. Just be the right type of comic fan at Comic-Con. Be respectful, be approachable, thank people for their work, strike up a conversation, because they're people. I was always told they're people just like you. Now, granted, when you're get Jimmy Diggs your Vime call. It's truth. It's truth.
Yeah.
No,
Jimmy and Amanda really like
Jimmy. No, Jimmy and Amanda are like my mom and dad of comics. Aww. And it's hilarious because their wedding anniversary. Don't ask me how I know this, but their wedding anniversary is the same as my actual parents' wedding anniversary, which I find ironic. That's why I always call them my mom and dad of comics.
Oh, that's adorable. Sorry.
And yes, John is right. Marv Wolfman and Joelle Jones, they do. I absolutely love creators that also do the Tip to Hero initiative because for those of you that don't know what the Hero initiative is, it's kind of like a GoFundMe for comic creators to help with, medical expenses and medical bills because, comic creators still need a union so that way everybody can have health care. But,
Yep. And they're work for hire. So
work for hire.
All of these big like Thanos and Jim Starlin doesn't see any money for one of the biggest creations in the Marvel universe, so doesn't see really any royalties for all that stuff in the movies, all that merch that's being sold. So the Hero Initiative does help out with these creators, so pretty good thing.
Absolutely.
All right, I know we kind of went off on a total rampant tangent. Let's go ahead and I'm ready to talk about DC. How does that sound?
We can talk about DC. There's a lot to talk about with DC. There was a lot of books that came out for DC, and there's one that's not here that I will gladly talk about.
Got it. Which one is that one?
So there was a little. I do not condone pirating books.
This one. Okay.
But when Brian Azzarello writes a book, and you don't want to support Brian Azzarello, but everybody's asking you what you think of the book, you got to find a way to read the book.
You're like, fuck that guy.
Fuck that guy. So this week we got Brian Azzarello's Suicide Squad Get Joker, which is a Black Label series that basically involves Jason Todd joining the Suicide Squad, and his mission is to kill the Joker. Me and Jen have had tons of conversations on this because this is a fantasy of mine that I've always wanted to come to fruition, and it's something that I always calculated could happen in a comic. So the fact that it was being written by what I feel like this is appropriate to say, my arch nemesis of comics, Brian Azzarello, the fact that my dream plot was being written by Brian Azzarello was very depressing.
Yeah.
So I read the book this morning and I have a lot of thoughts. The first 6-7 pages, I'm like, fuck, this is actually really, really good. And I'm actually having a really good time.
I thought this was going to go complete. Oh, well, but this story isn't
That's
over,
only the first, that's only the first 6 or 7 pages. After the first 7 or so pages, the normal Brian Azzarello starts to sink through. We start to get some really racist bits. We get to see some really sexist bits. And I'm like, all right, here's the real Brian Azzarello showing his true colors. I absolutely love the concept of this book. I did not
Tell me what the concept of the book is again.
Concept of the book is Jason Todd gets inducted into the Suicide Squad, and their mission is to kill the Joker. He is teamed up with Harley Quinn. He's teamed up with Plastique, with Silver Banshee, Wild Dog, Firefly. There's a couple of really, really great characters on this team. And then there is another character that is a young Japanese girl by the name of Mew Mew. And I don't know how I feel about Mew Mew because I can see it's Brian Azzarello creation, and I know how he normally goes with those types of books. Yeah. This book starts to slog about halfway through. It starts to get very violent for no reason. I mean, it's a DC Black Label book, but it gets very violent, very unnecessary. There's also a Clockwork Orange reference with the Joker, where the Joker pops in full-blown Clockwork Orange apparel. There's a line about ultra violence. And then I'm going to spoil this book for anybody who has not read it. Please close your ears because I'm very upset about this part. The Joker has the nerve in his Clockwork Orange getup to kill Amanda Waller. First of all, Amanda Waller can't fucking die. She is the wall. She is literally impenetrable. Okay? When Trump fantasized his wall, he was thinking of Amanda Waller. Am I wrong? I'm sorry. I think I just broke Jen. I'm very proud of that joke.
That's the only wall that I want built.
It's the only wall that we want built. And it's already been built, and it's impenetrable. Amanda Waller physically cannot die. It's impossible. I understand that she is human, but she has just got this force field around her. The fact that she is killed by the Joker just feels fucking insulting, and it's bullshit, and I hate that. Not only that, but because Amanda Waller is dead, Joker now has control of the little machine that has the bombs in all of their necks. So I can tell that the next couple of issues is going to be like a race against the clock where it's like, fuck, the Joker is in control of us and the Joker can do whatever he wants to us. And listen, you had a strong start and I was tricked for 7 pages. I was tricked, and then it became your standard Brian Azzarello book. And am I going to read the second issue? Possibly. Am I going to enjoy it? No.
Like, I'm going to hate it and I'm going to complain the entire time.
This is my casual fling.
Ooh.
This is my casual fling. 100%.
Oof. I'm sorry.
It was a very bad book. I did not like this book at all.
You know, I know we're kind of like flipping between this week and last week, but there was this book that came out this week for the Joker, and it's the Joker puzzle box. Mm-hmm. Did you pick this one up and did you read it?
I did not, because I don't like the Joker, but I do like Matthew Rosenberg, so please tell me your thoughts.
Oh, I hated it. The only reason why I even put up with this one is because I'm like, okay, and it's a Chip Zdarsky cover. So I'm like, okay, I'll go ahead and I'll bite. I didn't really like it. I felt like it went nowhere.
What is the plot of this book?
The plot of the book is that the Joker ends up having like a surprise birthday party and everyone's there and the Riddler dies and they've got to figure out who killed the Riddler, I guess.
Why do they care? They're villains. Why does the Joker care?
Maybe
Who
that
killed
was
the Riddler?
explained. Maybe that was explained, but I didn't finish it. So if someone finished this book and you want to explain it to me.
It was one of those where you didn't even finish it.
No, I couldn't do it.
Oh, no.
I'm sorry. I feel like I failed you.
I'm tired of Joker books. I'm tired of Batman books.
The joke's on us.
The joke is on us. Once again, we got another announcement for a Batman book written and illustrated by Jock, which I understand is every Bat Boy's wet dream. I personally am just tired. I agree, Josue. We need to table the Joker for like 5 to 10 years. And we kind of got that with the New 52. He only popped up like once in the he popped up twice, a beginning and an end, which I was weirdly okay with in the New 52 that we didn't get to see Joker. But I'm tired of Batman. I'm tired of Joker.
They'll never put them on breaks because they end up just...
Because they make money.
Because they make money off of it. And I think that what DC is doing right now is it's really confusing for people who maybe don't read these books or don't know where to start, because you've got Detective Comics, you've got Batman, you've got 100 different Batman titles, and now you have 3 Joker titles. So you've got Joker Puzzle Box, then you've got Joker Get Joker, and then you've got the regular Joker series, which is basically just a Jim Gordon story.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the one that I like the most. I'd hate for someone coming in and being like, okay, maybe I want to read a Joker book, and then just being confused by what the fuck is going on.
Yep. 100% agree with all of that.
Yeah. Were there any other books, DC books that you read?
There was a lot of DC books. Since we're talking about Batman, I might as well briefly talk about this. It is Batman Secret Files Huntress. I love Huntress. I'm a huge fan of Huntress, but it feels like she's getting more love because I know she's a big part of the current Detective Comics run. So I was really excited that she had a one shot, and I picked that up. I have conflicting feelings about this book because the reason why I really didn't like this book is because it ties directly into, I guess, what's happening in Detective Comics right now. So for me, it was a little confusing. That being said, I love the way that Mariko Tamaki writes Huntress. She writes her Huntress has always for me been this very badass, bad bitch, take no shit from Batman attitude.
Yeah.
And that's why her and Batman have always kind of been, at odds with each other. Not only that, but this is the new, I don't want to call it reimagined Huntress, but for those of you that don't know, Huntress has been around since the 80s. She was this, I don't want to call it stereotypical, but she was this Italian heiress whose parents were murdered. And so that fueled her vengeance to become a superhero and wage war against the mobs of not only Gotham, but the world. When we got the Rebirth reboot, they decided to make Huntress black. She was still Italian. She was still in her roots, but she was now a black woman, which a lot of people were upset with. I personally think I don't care because she's badass either way. Yeah. But her outfit in that with the weird nun robe was very off-putting.
Yeah. I think it's just the edginess that they're trying to do.
It was very edgy. It was very awkward, and it did not seem very comfortable. Within the past couple months, we've seen Huntress get a new look. They've kind of rebranded how she looks. Because before that, even she had the really awkward belly window designed by Jim Lee. This new outfit, I'm trying to find a really great image of it, but I don't think there is. This is, I guess, a good one. We're kind of getting a reimagined Huntress where I feel like it's the best of both worlds. I really, really like this costume for Huntress. We've still got the little belly window tummy, I guess, but I kind of always liked that about her costume, and I liked her excuse where she's like, well, if I do this many ab crunches, I want people to see my goddamn abs. I love this design for Huntress. I love this Huntress in general. Give her her own series that doesn't connect with Detective Comics because...
And isn't a one-shot.
Isn't a one-shot. Even if it was a one-shot, I just feel like people need to experience Helena Bertinelli. Give me more Huntress. Give me another Birds of Prey series. Just saying.
Yeah. I agree. This one, obviously I read it 2 weeks ago and my little baby brain has forgotten about it, but I enjoyed it, but I don't really know too much.
I didn't hate it, but
Huntress.
I didn't love it.
Yeah.
It was kind of just there, and I think it's the tie-in factor of it that made me hate it.
Yeah, if you're not, it can feel a little bit disjointed. So I do wish that they did make this a one-shot separate on its own. Maybe you can do your magic where you will these things into existence. And other than Mariko Tamaki writing Huntress, who would you say you would like to see writing Huntress?
Who do I want to see write Huntress? I want to say Gail Simone. I want to say Gail Simone, but let me not cheat because Gail Simone's already written the Huntress. But I love her Huntress. I wouldn't mind seeing Amy Reeder take her on. I feel like that's a name. I feel like that's a name that we don't throw around quite often. But looking at her Amethyst series, looking at how she did Moon Girl, Devil Dinosaur, I would not mind.
Girl, yes.
I would not mind her taking it over. There's another writer I'm thinking, and I can't.
I would almost say Kelly Thompson.
Kelly Thompson would be fun if she was not exclusive with Marvel. Absolutely. I also wouldn't mind a Joelle Jones story.
Ooh.
Like Joelle Jones writing and illustrating a Huntress book would be very, very fun.
That would be fun.
Give me a Hunter series. Give me a Birds of Prey series. I feel like DC is lacking once again in their female department. We need to kind of amp that back up.
Yeah. So just let Batman take a rest. Let Joker take a rest for a little bit, and let's see these other characters for a little bit.
See these other characters shine through.
One of the books that I don't know if you're reading. Are you reading Nice House on the Lake?
I am.
Okay. So I assume you got it, and
I did.
Cool. I really like this series. If I could be the editor for the series or the writer, I don't know, does James Tynion get a fucking editor for this one? I do not know.
I don't know.
But I do really like this, and I wish that it wasn't a DC Black Label book. Because
you think that's holding back?
I do, because I think that it could be pumped up a little bit, especially thinking about James Tynion and the weirdness and the strangeness of Department of Truth. I think that this could get a little bit weirder and a little bit stranger. But it's not going to. I think it needs to be.
I think we still have time, because this is only issue 3, and I feel like issue 3 there were some parts that did get a little weird. I will say I hated issue 2. Okay, I didn't hate it, but compared to the way I felt with issue 1, issue 2, I was really kind of like in that regret stage where like, should I have put that on my pull list? Issue 3 kind of picked that back up for me, where I was like, okay, I see where we're going, but I don't see where we're going, and that's the good thing. It got very weird. That cliffhanger at the end of it was absolutely amazing. I can't wait to see where the rest of the series goes. Again, if you're not reading Nice House on the Lake, please, please, please read Nice House on the Lake. It's definitely a sleeper hit right now, but I feel like it's slowly going to be on the rise.
I think this is going to be one of the next, like, Something is Killing the Children. I could see this getting really popular and then the number 1 shooting up in price in the next couple of years.
I agree.
Maybe that's just me saying that because I've got a couple copies of issue 1 and the variant. So maybe that's just me creating the demand while also having the supply.
And the second printings, the second and third printings, because issue 1 has gone to a third printing and issue 2 went to a second printing, and the way that their printings work is that the cover gets more and more distressed. I think that's genius. I love that. Issue 1 honestly could go to like 12 printings, and I'd probably buy each and every one, if I'm being quite honest, because it's just a really cool and really weird gimmick.
I agree. One of the other books that came out at the same time as Something is Killing the Children, oh my goodness, Nice House on the Lake, is this book, The Conjuring. And I'm not gonna lie, I feel like I'm picking these up just because of the cover right now.
The covers are so cool, the little VHS covers.
I'm not even reading it, and I'm not even mad because the covers are so gosh darn cool.
Covers are very cool. So I almost picked those up specifically for the covers, and I was like, let me not do that.
Can someone tell me what these books are about? I mean, I've watched The Conjuring, but I couldn't tell you what was in these books. I'm so sorry.
Absolutely.
What other DC books you got?
I have 2 other DC books. One I'm going to save for last because I have a ton of feelings about that one. Robin number 4 came out last week, this week. I don't know. It's all a blur.
It was last week.
I'm still really, first of all, this cover's gorgeous. Can we talk about that? I fucking stan Rose Wilson so hard. She is so cool in my mind, and
I'm not even reading Robin,
and she picked it up. Rose Wilson is cool.
It. I
give
love
Rose
this cover.
Listen, manifesting. Give Rose Wilson her own series. I don't know what to tell y'all. Anyway, I continue to love this series. The first issue starts off with that, or the first page starts off with that manga inspo that we've been seeing throughout this series. And I get that it's gimmicky, but I also really, really love it. The end of this book, we get to see the the Bat family show up. So I'm ridiculously excited. Spoiler alert. We see the Bat family show up for one final page at the end of this issue. So I'm really excited for next issue when we get to see them all interact. But I need to have a conversation with who is the artist? Hold on. Where are my credits? I'm going to credit properly.
Corona?
I need to have... the credits are just gone. I want to credit him properly because it is very important.
Corona.
But I need his full name because he needs to be
Oh.
credited. Well, anyway,
Virus.
Jorge Corona. George Jorge Corona. All right, so Mr. Corona, sir, if you're listening to this, because you're a fan of the show. We get it.
Thank you.
Who the fuck gave you the right to make Ra's al Ghul hot as shit? I need some words. Why is Ra's al Ghul hot? I don't listen. I have been a Batman fan at least since I was a child, so I'm familiar with Ra's al Ghul. And yes, I always did get some vibes, but he is absolute gilf right now. Absolute gilf. He is the granddad I would like to freak, I guess. Listen, I kind of like this. So this issue got really weird because, you know, I've said it before. I'm really sick and tired of this trend that we're seeing, especially with Batman villains, where they're no longer villains. They're anti-heroes and yada yada. Like, they're villains that are going good. But when Ra's al Ghul talks about how he was just trying to make the world a better place, trying to stop pollution, trying to stop mass population,
that's king shit.
That's king shit, but it kind of makes fucking sense. And I'm like, you're the first one that they've tried to like heroize, I guess, but not really. I guess more it's like population terrorists. Is that a thing? I don't know.
Oh, wow. That's a really good term for that.
Population terrorist? I don't know. But, like, I don't know, man. You're on your king shit. I'm kind of agreeing with what you're saying right now. Capitalism is bad, you know, yada, yada. And you look like a gilf, so, like, I'm here to join your team, I guess. Yeah. Like,
just give me some of that because he's got that, like, long hair. I either need him to, like, do that, like, pushback of the hair, like
he's got the ponytail. He's got the braided ponytail in this book. So I don't know, man. I'm kind of enjoying it right now. But there was definitely an audible gasp while reading this comic and seeing that page and being like, like it was full on like Jack Nicholson Joker stop the press. Who's that? That was me.
Okay.
That was me. Did you have these besides this last one, which I'm sure that you may have, maybe you don't? Did you have any other DC books?
Yeah, I'm gonna go through these really quick. I have a feeling I know what's gonna be your last one, so I'll save that.
Bobby is right. Ra's al Ghul and Thanos were right the entire time. 100% king shit. Agree 100%. Wife me up. I'm here.
You're like, I would simp. Okay, so I got Dreaming Waking Hours. It's the last issue. I haven't read it yet, so hopefully I'll get to that. I did also buy Batman 111 only for this cover, 100% a cover buy, because he's like sitting there like Daddy Batman. See, this is the Batman that would.
That is 100%. That is the Batman that would.
This is the Batman that would do what heroes don't. So, let's see what else. I also got Harley Quinn. I thought I got 2 covers, but maybe it's not right here. I haven't read it yet, so we'll see if I get to it. I'm not even really reading Checkmate, but I thought this was a really pretty cover. So
variants are very, very cool.
Once again, another book I am 100% not reading, but I love this Green Lantern.
Such a good cover.
I did have a couple of other DC books that once again didn't read. Wonder Woman, Mr. Miracle. I already said Harley, Icon and Rocket #2. A couple other books, like I said, I didn't read. But the book that I did read, Swamp Thing, I know I mentioned it earlier. It's so good. We're getting in this issue Levi, who's the current like avatar of the Green, is like we see him basically being deconstructed and remade and going through this whole like, what are my memories? Who am I? Which I think is just classic like Swamp Thing, which is fantastic. And we get to see some memories, but it's like, are they memories? Are they like hallucinations? What really are they? So I thought that was great. I know I said it earlier. Peacemaker, Peacekeeper shows up, and Amanda Waller, Peacemaker, and Amanda Waller is also in it very briefly. So there you go.
Sway is upset because we did not pick up Sensational Wonder Woman. I think I'm going to end up trade weighting that one. I will say Wonder Woman Black and Gold, while I didn't pick it up and our shop did not have
I got
it.
this one. I haven't read it.
I dropped it. I finally dropped it from my pull list this week. Oh no. But Wonder Woman Black and Gold apparently has a story in it by, can't think of her name right now, and I'm having a hard time and it's making me upset. But she is the writer and illustrator for Lore Olympus, which is one of my favorite webcomics. And she did an entire Wonder Woman story in Black and Gold. And I'm like, it's really cool to see her cool, funky art style in Wonder Woman, because it's already like Greek mythology, so it all kind of makes sense. Just saying.
So that's issue number 2, correct?
Issue number 2 of Black and Gold, yes.
Of Black and Gold, got it. Okay. I have a feeling, because there's one more book on the DC list, and it's from last week, if I assume. Is it this one?
It is that one.
Okay. I didn't read it. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Last week there was a lot of books that I didn't read, so I'm counting on you to give me the scoop.
This hurts.
I'm sorry.
I love this
book.
Take
that feeling and bottle it up, and that's how I feel when you don't read Swamp Thing.
I love this book so much. This is Superman by Tom Taylor and Jonathan Timms, who was an artist on Harley Quinn. Listen, I love fucking Tom Taylor and everything he does. The man can do no wrong. The fact that he's finally getting to write a Superman book, or maybe I guess it's a Superboy book, whatever we want to call it. It's so good. I don't like Superman. I understand why people like Superman. I can't get into Superman unless it's the Peter Tomasi Rebirth run. I absolutely love that. But I think it's because it has the same sort of values as this book does. We get to see Jonathan Kent kind of come into his own, and he's acting exactly like his father, where, you know, he wants truth, justice, and his father says the American way. And there's a point in this book where he says he stands for truth, justice, and doing what is right. Oh. And I just can't help but feel like this is some Gen Z mentality type shit where like he knows what his father does is right, but he can elevate it to another step and another level. And I'm like, this is the type of book that we need right now. We see Damian Wayne pop up and the two of them kind of pal around and have a conversation that leads into that, you know, you can do what your father does, but you can do it better. There's a whole scene where, you know, we get to see the final moments where Lois Lane is giving birth to Jonathan, and it's Superman being like, well, I have to stop this alien invasion. And it's the entire Justice League being like, listen, we've got this. You need to go where you need to be. And it's just these really great character moments. And I say it every time we talk about the man. This is what Tom Taylor thrives on, is character moments, character development, character interaction. I will be adding this to my pool list 100% because Tom Taylor is the goddamn shit. I love everything he writes. I don't think I found anything. That's a lie. I did not like Deceased, but I love everything that he writes, and this is right up there with them.
Oh, that's excellent. Okay, so that'll probably be what I read. And
it's a good book.
Okay.
It's a good feel-good book.
You know, it's funny because I knew when you said that you had thoughts on it, I'm like, okay, like, here we go. But I'm really glad that you liked it.
You didn't expect positive thoughts.
I expected violence choosing 100%.
No, I very much enjoyed the book. I had a very good time with it. There's a couple moments that just make you feel good. Where Jonathan is interacting with somebody who, it reminds me of the scene. Is it from All-Star Superman? Where the girl wants to jump off of the building and Superman is there with her and is like, your therapist really was just late. You know, it's not bad. It's not, you know, I'm here for you. John has a very similar moment. I don't think to that extreme, but it's definitely a moment that made me tear up a little bit.
Okay. I will add it to the top before I read my next week's books. Or maybe this week's, because I didn't get to read all of them this week. Do you want to go straight into Marvel? Or, I mean, you only have 2 books for Marvel. So
I only have 2.
Okay.
I only have 2.
Okay. I'm here with all the Marvel books.
She has all the Marvel books, except for X-Men 2, because she didn't read it.
I didn't read X-Men 2, so I do apologize for that. There's actually a lot of books. I need to catch up on all my X-Men books because I didn't read Wolverine. I didn't read Sword, which apparently both were really, really good. I haven't read Star Wars, High Republic. I did read Cable.
She's slacking, y'all.
I am. I did read Cable though, and I really appreciate it. It's the end of this little era where fuckboy Cable goes back to being old man Cable. And I just thought some really sweet moments here.
Why can't he be both? Why can't he be both old man Cable and fuckboy Cable?
That is true. That is very true. But I just, it had to end.
It had to end.
Yeah. So I still think that this was a really good series. I would recommend it because I'm not a big fan of Cable. So to see this book, it really did it for me. So, Mr. Duggan,
Mr. Gary Duggan.
I'm gonna keep calling you
Jerry.
I'm gonna keep calling you Jerry Dugan.
Jerry Dugan.
Exact. That's So, anyways, I thought it was a lovely series.
I need to know your thoughts about one particular book.
What?
A certain series ended this or last week.
It did.
I need to know your thoughts on that book.
You're talking about Black Knight. Curse of
I
the
am
Ebony
not.
Blade, right?
I am not.
This book did also end. Issue 5. So, do I even have it right here with me? But Beta Ray Bill ended this last week. And have you been reading it?
I have not. I'm trade waiting it, but I need to know, does he get the girl?
He doesn't.
What?
Y'all, he doesn't fuck his ship. There's this really, let me pull this out.
Well, no, wait. I meant Lady Sif. Does he get Lady Sif?
He doesn't get Lady Sif, nor does he get to fuck his ship.
What is the point then?
Yeah. There is this really cool moment where his ship, Scuttlebutt, turns into a big ass gun thing.
Nice. Love that for him.
I don't know if you can see that here, but the ship turns into a big gun, and what's his name? I can't even think of his name. Ends up getting to wield her. So he basically has this moment where he gets his friend gets to have, I don't know, but no, he doesn't have relationships with Lady Sif. This ended kind of sad, and the whole mission for this was because Beta Ray Bill wanted to turn back into like a human form, but he couldn't because the weapon was broken. So he goes on this quest and yada yada yada. Lady Sif wouldn't fuck him in Beta Ray Bill form.
Shame.
Which Lady Sif is a champ and 100% would smash. Would smash. And she doesn't, so he ends up going on this quest to be able to turn back. Spoiler alert, he does, but I feel like this ends so abruptly. Like, I needed an extra issue. Like, I needed, like, just an orgy issue where I see him and Lady Sif in every position that I can imagine, and the ones that I can't imagine. Like, that's what I needed out of issue 6, but instead it ends at issue 5.
Sad.
He ends up turning back into a human form, but then there's this moment, sorry, I'm going to spoil it, but like, he ends up sitting here and looking at himself in the mirror, and he's like, I couldn't be happier, but then he looks really sad, so it just ends kind of sad.
Oh no!
Overall, it was a really good series. I loved it, but I really wanted him to either bang a ship or bang Lady Sif,
or both,
but it didn't happen. So,
sad.
But I still really like the series. That was still really good. Please pick it up and trade and please read it.
I definitely want to. It's definitely on my list of things. I can't wait for that to drop.
Yes. Okay. And hello to Rob G. How are you doing today? What other Marvel books did you get? Because I've got, I feel like I should have had more, but I've got some Marvel books.
I have 2. So okay. I'll just briefly talk about this one. This is Black Widow number 9. I wanted to love this issue more, but I honestly feel like the second arc is kind of dragging, which makes me sad because Yelena shows up in this arc a lot, and right now I am obsessed with Yelena and Natasha. But it's still a pretty good one. I just think that the first run or the first arc is definitely stronger. The action sequences are still, listen, Elena Casagrande is one of the greatest artists out there right now on superhero comics. I need her on every single book imaginable. It feels like every single issue she does at least one. In this one, I believe there's two. There is two. In every single book, there is at least one masterful spread like this that is just beautiful and action packed, and she's fantastic. I don't really have much more to say other than that. It was okay.
Is this
wasn't my favorite?
This isn't the end of the arc, right?
So no, I think we have at least 10. One. I think we have at least one more, and then after that, we'll start the new arc.
I think honestly, after this, I'm probably going to drop it and then start trade waiting.
I might.
It's been tough to keep up with month to month.
I agree.
I still really love it. I love Kelly Thompson and Casagrande. Really appreciate their work together. However, that being said,
we need more. It's not nearly as powerful, I think, as that first arc was, and we need something more from it. The other book that I picked up from Marvel that I keep thinking about, I don't know if I liked it or not, I think I did, is Marvel Comics Amazing Fantasy. This is a 5-issue miniseries completely by Carr Andrews. I'm trying to figure out how to escape. I'm reading off of the cover now. How to explain this series. So it's my understanding that it's different versions of comic characters from different universes. So we see Captain America, we see Spider-Man, we see Black Widow, and at some point in their lives, they die. And it took me until the end of the issue to realize these characters have actually died. And they are being transported into this magical, amazing fantasy.
Where there's like...
That's the name of the book.
Yeah.
But they're being transported into this amazing fantasy world where they can kind of just... The sky's the limit. One of the really interesting things about this book is even though it's all done by Carr Andrews... there are like 4 different styles in this book for each character and then for our mainline universe. And I think that is really cool. We get a really emotional moment where Spider-Man reunites with Uncle Ben. And just, I don't know. I feel like it's hard to tell with this issue because this issue is setting up so much. And that is the other thing too. These covers are absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah.
So I feel like I'm going to be buying it just for the covers alone because they remind me of those like really old dark fantasy type books that you would see in like the 70s and on those like the heavy metal magazines. That's what this reminds me of. I might pick up issue 2 just to see how it goes and then make a decision from there because it is only a 5-issue miniseries. So yeah, also dark as fuck. Okay, I will put that on the list. Thank you.
I see. Sorry. Hello to Sanimation. I have not seen you in a very long time, and I love you, girl. Thank you so much for being here. I feel like as much as I do appreciate the artwork and the different styles, I do feel like it felt a little bit disjointed to me. I do think that I'm going to try to pick this up by single issues, but I think the read would be preferable in a trade and reading it all at once.
I agree.
Because it is, I don't necessarily want to say fast-paced, but because of it's a little bit choppy.
Because you're telling it from 3 different perspectives.
Yep.
And I don't know if we're going to continue to get that in the second issue now that everybody's kind of where they need to be. That was just a setup for the first issue. We'll see. But again, I feel like those covers alone are a reason to buy it. Because the covers, I mean, we've got the covers by Carr Andrews himself. We've got the Peach Momoko variants. Like, these covers are great.
Sounds like they slap, as the kids say.
They slap.
And apparently there's going to be one with Storm. I'm here for it. I will pick up 5 of that cover.
Yep, there's one with Storm. But that's everything I had for Marvel.
Got it. One of the other books that I got was the United States of Captain America. So basically the premise of this book is that Captain America and Falcon are going across America trying to find this network of handmade, self-made Captain Americas that are really supposed to like embody the spirit of America, because really, like, when you think about it, America is a diverse place. So why should there only be like one straight white dude as Captain America? So we do get to see a little bit more like diversity, and it looks like the country that we live in. So we do get to see those two. It's kind of like I feel like a buddy cop movie, because they're going around trying to like solve crimes and figure out who these new Captain Americas are. I think that it's really fun. I'm not really going too much into it. Like, I'm not really trying to analyze it more than just reading it, and it's fun.
Well, that's good. That's all that it matters.
Yeah.
If you're having fun, then that's the point of the comic.
Yeah. I think that's actually it for all of my Marvel stuff. I accidentally picked up or you know what? Let me double, triple check and make sure, because I feel like I should have gotten more. Yeah, I did. Okay. So, that was just a cover by, and that was that same book. I did pick up this book. I picked up 2 Star Wars books.
So proud of you.
Picked up this one because it's High Republic, and it's these action figure covers.
I love the action figure covers.
Mm-hmm. And then I did pick this up just because it's a little Ewok, and it's like steampunk, and
steampunk Ewok.
So I just thought that was kind of cute, and I liked it. The other book that I read this week was Spirits of Vengeance, Spirit Rider. So it goes into, and I'm kicking myself in the butt because I cannot recall her name, but an indigenous person as Ghost Rider, basically being embodied by the like spirit or the demon. There's a lot of like kind of like family history and trauma that's being dealt with. So I initially didn't read this, and we were supposed to talk about it on Friday night for Comic Talk Live. I didn't. I think Will read it and said he didn't like it, and I can see why, because the way that the panels and everything move, I really loved it. I really loved the artwork. I'm definitely going to be picking up more of this. More of this, please.
Absolutely.
Okay, so that's pretty much all the Marvel that I have. Let's see.
The rest is all indie, guys. Look at all this. Help us.
Yeah. Oh my goodness, it's ridiculous, everyone.
It's ridiculous. We'll try to make it semi-quick.
I remember one time I was having a conversation with Sydnia and Dan on Comic Chop News, and we were talking about how everyone wants to date a geek girl.
Mm-hmm.
But what I don't think most people realize about geek girls like us is
how expensive we are.
We're expensive. I'm an expensive bitch. Like, you've got to put up with all my neurotices, and all the dumb bitch money that I spend. So I still pay my bills, but you know. So anyways, speaking of dumb bitch money, and
you want to talk about dumb bitch money? Okay, let's just talk about
you know what? Really
money.
Quick.
I got it.
I want to talk about one. Shit, where did it go?
But I have a segue for your dumb bitch money because I did something I shouldn't have.
What'd you do?
I bought not one, but 2 copies of Sweet Paprika.
And tell me how horrible it was.
It was the worst. You would be so mad about this book.
That's what I'm saying. So for everyone who, I mean, I know most of the people who are here, like, you watch us week to week, and you know that Mirka and Andolfo
can't write for shit.
We can't. I don't know what it is. All the premises sound so cool. It sounds like things that I should like. None of it lands for me ever, and I have no clue what's going on, and not in a fun way.
So what if I told you the premise of this? Oh, you're going to be so upset with this one.
It's supposed to be like she's a devil, right?
She is a devil, but
and
that's
she has sex with people.
But she doesn't. And wait till you hear why. Sweet Paprika is a little demon, a little demon imp babe who has it all. She's a classy businesswoman who's like at the top of her game right now. She has it all, except for romance. And all she wants to do is get laid. Like, she wants to get fucking railed.
I have Mirka and Andolfo. Are you getting laid? Or is there someone in your life who is providing for you? Or can you get it for yourself, because I feel like this is the premise of like every book that she does, is like it's a pig girl who wants to get fucked, and it's like maybe that's what needs to happen. We need to do a campaign where like Mirka Andolfo, let's get you an orgasm.
Yes. Okay. So you're going to get so mad at this premise. So all she wants is to get railed. This girl has been watching porn.
As one does.
As
Yes.
one does. She watches porn. She meets her delivery driver dude that she falls kind of head over heels in love for and wants to bang him. But the problem is the sweet paprika has a dad, or literal dad, that thinks that she should never have sex. So every time she starts to think about sex or starts to get to the point where she has an orgasm, all she sees is her father yelling at her and saying that good girls don't do that. Jen is melting through her brain. My partner is giving me the weirdest look I have ever seen from him. This is the plot of the newest book from Image Comics, y'all. And listen, it's bad. It's so fucking bad. It's not even funny. Listen, we were here ranting about sex positive books a couple weeks ago. This completely put us in the fucking dark ages. I don't know what to tell you.
Like, is there a redemption arc here? Is there
I
gonna
don't
be
know,
like,
because the book literally ends. How does this book end? I don't even remember. The book literally ends with her dad dying as she is about to, do stuff. Because there's oh wow, this is a line. Can I just read this line for you?
please don't.
This is why you canceled your wedding and made that respectable man your ex for a life of tit sucking. That is a real quote in this book.
Who says that to who?
It's her dad. It's her dad in her head telling her that.
Who's in her head tit sucking, shaming her.
Yep. It's just, this book is bad. I don't know why people think it's good. And of course, we've already gotten the email from Kat Salazar saying that it's already gone to second printing. It's gone to second printing, but this ain't it, Chief. This cover is gorgeous. I love this cover. I don't regret buying this one for the cover.
Yeah.
But it's just, I don't know. Listen, if your dad says that you can't have an orgasm, then it's time for you to get a new dad. Don't know what to sell for you.
I've got like a million comic book dads, like Moon Knight, like daddy all the way.
No. Like, there's a difference between a dad and a daddy.
Well,
we gotta
I know,
get that
but
straight.
Like, I'm just saying, like, we will get you a different daddy. I think that's what maybe she needs.
Maybe. It was bad. I'm gonna send you a copy.
Oh, please no.
I'm gonna send you a copy.
Well, then I'm gonna send you a copy of Cult of Dracula and Freak Snow and You Promised Me Darkness.
I just feel like because I suffered through this book, I need you to suffer through it, but I want to be there while you suffer. Because I can see you just reading it and just yelling every page.
Sweet paprika is my new safe word, okay?
It was a bad book. So when you said that you didn't get it, I was kind of upset because I wanted you to suffer with me, as mean as that sounds. But I think telling you on stream how this book is and seeing your reaction, and now I have that for the rest of my life, it might have been worth it.
Well, what I was going to tell you, I was going to start off the indie comic chat by talking about a book from like a month ago and being like, hey, I finally read Mammo.
I finally read. How was Mammo? Did you enjoy Mammo?
I thought it was adorable. I thought it
was precious.
It was like, so this is the palette cleanser from whatever the hell Sweet Paprika was. It was adorable. I liked this. I felt like it reminded me of Ink Blot in a couple of ways, like because you got the cute little like cat thing kind of jumping through, and the witch doesn't want to be the witch, and I don't know. I really liked it, and but I do get your point. where I do wish this was like just an OGN. I could see this being published by First, Second, or any of those publishing companies.
100%.
I thought it was really sweet. I read this and I thought of John's Comics with Kids. If he
Perfect
doesn't
book.
if he doesn't have this book and like his daughters haven't read it, I got an extra copy. So 10 out of 10 would recommend. I would love to send that to him because it was really good.
It was a very good book. Very good book.
Fucking Sweet Paprika.
Sweet
Jesus
Paprika. Let's
Christ.
talk about a good book from Image, because there was actually 2 very good books from Image this week.
The one that's off the top of my head is going to be the Me You Love in the Dark.
Yes. So a lot of people right now are not liking this book. I'm seeing a lot of people that are like, it's very slow. I don't know where it's going. I'm kind of bored by it, and I don't know if I want to pick it up. I'm kind of like, I don't want to say obsessed, because obsessed is a strong word. I really, really like this book, and I think I want to add it to my pool list. I really did not know what this book was about going into it, other than the fact that it was Scotty Young and Jorge Corona. Oh, who drew sexy as fuck? Ra's al Ghul. It all comes full circle now.
Oh,
nice.
wow.
Love that for me. But this is the same creative team behind Middle West, which was another series by Image Comics that actually ended about a year ago.
Yeah,
I read the first trade of Middle West, and while I kind of enjoyed it as I was reading it, once I was done, I was like, I have no interest in continuing. I really don't know what was going on. Like, it just didn't really do anything for me. Jen has disappeared, so I'm just going to continue talking, and I'm going to kind of cap off what the Me You Love in the Dark is. So it follows the story of a young artist girl who is facing artist block. We're just capping off what it's about. So she's facing massive artist blocks, so she decides, like any good spooky girl would, to buy an abandoned haunted mansion in the hopes that that will
rent
heal.
one.
Or to
She's
rent
renting
one.
it. Yeah.
She's renting. Either way, she is residing in this spooky haunted mansion, hoping that that will help ignite her spark and bring back her creative flow and bring her out of this art block, which we've all experienced before. And that felt like the most relatable thing about this book is like, wow, I'm there right now. Good to know. But then the ending, it kind of turns into this like cute romance story where it's a ghost and the ghost wants to help her. And listen, I'm here for this spooky ghost romance bullshit.
Yeah.
I'm here for that. I think that that is cute and precious. And obviously we're not going to see too much of the spooky ghost until later on, but I want this on my pool list. I think I'm going to have to continue reading this one.
I also really enjoyed this book. However, especially because I got Lydia Dietz vibes from Beetlejuice, and I really liked it. I do wish that it was either, to me, it was kind of in the middle between humorous, whimsical, and dark and depressing. And I wish that it had been pushed a little bit, either or. So I wish that maybe we got a little bit more humor in it, maybe a little bit more like whimsical, like I Hate Fairyland. Like, obviously that's like,
or like Beetlejuice.
Or like Beetlejuice. Like, it's really just like a gruesome book, but so I wish that it maybe had pumped up both a little bit. Like if it was just a little bit more gruesome, a little bit more horrific, maybe that could have been done if the spirit was a little bit more malevolent, as opposed to nice. So maybe we'll see that a little bit. My also one other like point of contention with this book is I don't get the fucking cover, or I don't get the name. The Me You Love in the Dark. I wish that I knew why it was named that.
Is it possible that the Me You Love in the Dark is because it's the ghost falling in love with her and the ghost is in the dark? Or maybe it's because she's in a dark place in her life and the ghost is falling in love with her. We're assuming he's going to fall in love, or it could be a she, they. Why am I genderizing this ghost?
Yeah.
The ghost.
Ghosts don't have dicks.
Ghosts don't have, I mean, they might, but anyway.
Mirka Andolfo, I've got your next fucking book for you to write.
But this ghost, maybe they fall in love with her even when she's at her lowest, you know? But it doesn't make sense with issue 1. Like, no, it doesn't.
Make it make sense. Anyways, I really did love this book though. So
it was a very good. I was not expecting to like this one. I picked it up because it was a new Image, and I'm like, okay, I'll pick it up.
Yeah.
And then I really did enjoy it. So it was a big surprise for me. The other book this week that or maybe it was last week, but that I absolutely loved, and I'm sad that it took me this long to really love this series. But issue 4 of The Old Guard came out this week.
I haven't read it yet, so
this is my favorite issue that we've gotten so far, 100%. So this one, if you haven't been following, The Old Guard is an anthology series, about the Old Guard from Greg Rucka and Fernando fucking Blanco. No, Blanco Fernandez. I can't remember. I'm bad with names. So it's been an anthology series, and each issue has had 2 separate stories in it. The first story that we get is from Matt Fraction and Steve Lieber, who's the creative team behind Jimmy Olsen, Superman's pal Jimmy Olsen, who is an Eisner winner, by the way.
And also really quick, I think Steve Lieber is going to be at my local shop Free Comic Book Day this upcoming, I think so. Maybe Josue. If you're still in the chat, let me know. And I will also be volunteering there as well. And I think, Josue, you said that you're volunteering. So let's hang out.
Nice. So yes, The Old Guard. Sorry, I'm getting distracted by the comment in the chat. Miss So, I keep hearing about The Old Guard. Haven't read it yet. Please read the book. It's probably one of my favorite Image books of all time. The movie absolutely did it justice. They changed up some things to kind of modernize it, and also because they kind of merged book 1 and book 2 together. The only bad thing about that movie, I think, is the music choices, but that's very superficial. So The Old Guard issue 4, the first story by Steve Lieber and Matt Fraction, follows Andy. And it kind of gives us more of a glimpse into her love life. Because in the original story, we are kind of hinted that Andy found a man that she settled down with and loved, and then he died. In this one, we find out that he is, he's a black man, and it was during the post-slave era, and that she fell in love with him, and the two of them were kind of like bandit outlaws, Bonnie and Clyde. And then she goes away for a time while he's still living out their domesticated life. And unfortunately, he is killed by the people in the town. And she comes home to realize that he has been brutally murdered. And she decides that, she no longer wants to be nice. She's going to have her vengeance. And so she slaughters everybody in the town. It really is just a heartbreaking book, and it kind of gives us that extra layer to Andy that I feel like sometimes we lack in the mainline series, because we do always see that she's kind of this cold, stoic person, and that we know that she's been wronged in her past, but she's never going to talk about it. And this story kind of gave us the insight. The second story, which was written by David F. Walker, who does Bitterroot, you're going to love this. So it is Nikki. No, it's Joe. I always get them confused. It's either Nikki. I want to say it's Nikki. I never know. I think it's Nikki. I don't know. Either way. So I think it is Nikki. So Nikki basically is in the Civil War, disguising himself as a Confederate soldier. He sits on the side of the road. Nikki likes to sit on the side of the road and pretend he's wounded, so that way other Confederate soldiers will take him into their camp and kind of try to help him out. And then he will kill everybody in the Confederate camp because he sees what they do. And then he frees the slaves that have been captured along the way. And listen, I want a whole story of Nikki pretending to be a fake Confederate soldier and just slaughtering people.
That sounds so. I caught just a pinch of what you just said. And that sounds absolutely beautiful. I also, you're right. I need David F. Walker to 100% do that entire story. Like I need that whole.
It was a great issue. I really enjoyed it. I feel like I've been back and forth with if I like the stories in these anthologies or if I hate them. And this is the first time where I'm like, okay, this is doing the anthology justice.
Really quick, I want to say sorry that I had to pop off screen for a little bit. My partner went and got me the best donuts in town and brought them to me. So not only did I have cake for breakfast,
but you're having donuts.
I now have donuts, so that's me living my best life.
That is the best life right there.
Okay. Sorry to interrupt y'all.
100% the best life. So that's everything I have from Image. Did you have anything else from Image?
Let me double check because I just kind of like put through all of my indies together. I didn't separate them out by publisher. For some damn reason, I'm still getting that Texas Blood, even though like I fucking hate it at this point. None of these are Image, so yeah, that Texas Blood. There was a really cool big splash page that was cool, but I'm just not loving the story, even though some people really love that story, and I don't get it. Yes, the story is Department of Truth. I love this. It just gets weird and wild and wacky, and I know some people ended up dropping it. I can kind of see why. I won't get too much into it, but I really love this series. Sorry, it's so good.
Seems like a good one.
Yeah. So that was another one that I do have by Image, and I think the rest are going to be like Vault or Scout or yeah.
100%. So I've got Did you pick up this one? I don't know why I did, but I did. It's Porcelain by Maria Lovett.
So here's the thing, is that Maria Lovett and Mirka Andolfo could almost be the same fucking person at this point. I liked Luna better than I liked the other stuff that I read by Mirka Andolfo, but You
didn't love it.
I hated it almost every week. I hated how much I wanted to love it. Porcelain looked cool as hell. Those covers looked incredible. And I do kind of want to pick it up because the covers look really, really cool, but I didn't. Sorry.
So I will say I did not hate this first issue. But then again, I also said that with Luna.
Yeah.
So it's hard to tell. This one kind of feels like a weird Alice in Wonderland type situation where this young girl lives in the middle of the fucking desert with her weirdo aunt or whatever, and they live in this little shack, and she goes down the road to get oil or something, and then she is sucked into this weird funhouse dollhouse, and we've got all these really weird allusions to Eros and to Thanatos, and then she bites into this cupcake that I can only assume is filmed with worms. And it almost reminds me of a Persephone and the pomegranate type thing.
Oh, yeah.
And then she is told that she is stuck in the dollhouse and that her skin is like porcelain and she is going to become one of the dolls. So it feels like this really weird, like dark Alice in Wonderland-esque adventure. I am very curious to see where issue 2 goes. I might want to pick up a trade. The artwork in this one is absolutely amazing compared to Eros and Psyche, where I felt like the art was very felt like a very young Mirka Andolfo book, and that just happened to be published. This is also the first book where we have a blonde protagonist, and I can actually tell her apart from everybody else in the book.
I think that was one of the things in Eros and Psyche, was that all of the characters had black hair and had very similar skin tones, and everyone looked the same, and I couldn't really tell them apart. So
yeah,
yay for diversity. Finally, you did it.
But not really, because now we're just a blonde white girl. Yeah. But I didn't hate it. I didn't absolutely hate it. I would say if you can check out the first issue just to see what you think. But it really doesn't give us a whole lot. And it's going to be one of those, again, where it just went by really quickly. And who knows what we're going to get in future issues, honestly.
Yeah. That was it for Image. I do.
That was it for Image. That was a Blaze. That was a weird publisher.
Oh, that's right. That's
actually the same publisher who did do Eros and Psyche. So I was a little worried picking that one up, but I didn't hate it. I don't regret my life choices on that one. It's not a sweet paprika, that's for sure.
Yeah. There is one book, and I don't know if this is from last week or the week before. I think that have I talked about Lunar Ladies by Scout?
You did talk about Lunar Ladies.
Okay. I really liked it. I know that this is from 3 weeks ago then, but I still really liked this book. So
you did
I think
about it.
The reason why that's in this pile is because I picked up an extra copy because I liked it so much.
Aww.
Yeah. I know it's not ablaze. But did you happen to pick up a book by AWA Upshot this week?
Nope. I
Okay.
almost did. That one was sitting at my shop, and I flipped through it, and I was like, And then I remembered that they did Casual Fling, and I'm like,
I loved this book.
So what is it? What is it about?
So to me, it's basically like, the stories where it's like robots take over the future, or like, take over humanity. It feels like that, but told from the point of the robots. So in America, at least, I don't know if it's the whole world, but every single family is assigned their own robot that does chores around the house, I guess. And also the robots are the ones that go out to work while humans don't work. And robots are essentially the ones fixing up all of the fuck ups. So they're the ones that are combating the global warming crisis, the climate change crisis, fixing those types of mistakes. And it was really heartfelt, and I really enjoyed it. Because these robots, there's a couple of robots, not in like, these characters, but there's robots in this world that have gone crazy and like killed their human family.
Oh.
And so the human family in this is kind of torn. Like, do we love our robot or do we not?
Do we
And there's
a robot?
Yeah, and there's these really kind of cute moments between the robots. Like, two robots are saying bye to each other for the day, and one is like, "See you later, Terminator." After a while, rotary dial. And to me, like, those types of lines, like, that's perfect. And I'm definitely going to be picking this up issue by issue, even if the rest of the issue is horrible. If I just get little lines and little moments like that, it's going to be really good. So I really enjoyed Not All Robots. It was my pick of the week.
I'm going to have to see if my shop still has that, since you've recommended so highly. Because it really was one of those where I'm like, I don't know if I should pick it up.
And I don't blame you, because a lot of times with these very more obscure indie publishers, it could go either way, right? So it could go that it's really, really good, or it just ends up being horrible. I think sometimes these books suffer from not having a strong enough editor team, where editors are able to say, change this storyline, where maybe books are presented to the editorial team for review to be published, like basically pitching, and then they're like, oh, that sounds like a great idea, we'll publish it, and then it just comes in as is, instead of them being like, we need you to change these little things. So that being said, I feel like, and this is Mark Russell, so I feel like the story was actually there, the artwork was there. This could have been published by Image. This could have been published by Vault or Boom.
Okay.
Yeah. Aftershock. Yeah. Maybe more Vault than Aftershock, but I really enjoyed it.
That's interesting.
If you cannot find issue 1, I've got another copy of issue 1 that I'll send to you with the other million things I have that I need to send you that I forgot to send you. There. Can we talk about Vault? I don't think we got a chance.
We can talk about Vault. Absolutely.
I don't think we got a chance to talk about this book last week.
There's a couple Vault books. What do you have?
I have a second printing of a number 1 that I really liked, and I can't even find my issue 2 of Barbaric.
Oh, Barbaric. It's
so good.
I love this book. Can we talk about how we are already... So apparently next month's issue is the end of the arc. And I got really sad for a second, and then I read that apparently they are planning on doing these smaller, like, 3-issue arcs. And that makes me excited, because it's going to hold my attention. I'm not going to feel long and drawing out. Me and Josue, if Josue is still here, we're joking that, we're already getting the end of the arc for Barbaric, and yet we still don't know what the hell is going on with Hollowheart. I think that is hilarious. I continue to just love these characters. I love their interactions. I love their quippiness. This is literally the Rat Queen's book I wish I still had, but maybe even a little better. It's a good, fun time. I did not expect to love this book as much as I did. Listen, you've got a necromancer who literally pulls swords out of her skin. She's fantastic. I love
Yeah.
Soren.
She's a beautiful
She's
green-haired, blue-haired babe.
She's a babe, but that's all we need to
Yeah.
know. She is a babe.
Yeah.
Um,
And like you said, I think what really makes this book is the conversations between the characters.
Yep.
And one of the characters is a fucking axe.
A fucking bloodthirsty axe.
A bloodthirsty axe, and once again, the conversations between them is just absolutely hilarious. I would want to see an entire issue written from the point of view of the axe, which is named Axe, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
Sounds right to me.
Yeah. Great story. Michael
Moreshi, who also did the plot, which I fucking hated, but I
the plot.
love Barbaric. So it's honestly just proof that, you know, if you hate one book by a writer, take a chance on another, at least one other, because you might like it. Oh, there it goes. She's going full ABBA.
I'm singing ABBA. Man, so sorry. I listen to ABBA every fucking day of my life.
I know you do.
I love ABBA a lot.
Another really great book that came out this week. Actually, I don't know if I consider this book great because I feel like this issue was kind of just a filler, but I am still overall loving the series, and that is Witchblood #5. Both of these covers are absolutely gorgeous. And, you know, speaking of tarot cards, Jen sent me a care package of stuff. And one of the things she sent me is the Lisa Sturl tarot gift set. And I've never owned a tarot set before. But I'm full screen now. I'm obsessed with this. It comes with a little book that teaches me how to do tarot and the meanings of all the cards. We have all of these really gorgeous modern witch tarot cards that are just absolutely gorgeous. I feel like this is like some type of taboo with tarot, is showing off all the cards. If I die, I die. But these cards, I'm not going to go through all of them, but they are just absolutely gorgeous. And wait a second, that one looks really familiar. I definitely think that was one of the covers for Witchblood, except they had Yana on the motorcycle instead. That is pretty rad. I'm obsessed. She also bought me, I was going to go through these at the end, but it's a good segue because Jen can never decide. She also sent me the Trungles tarot set, which is equally gorgeous and equally stylized. And just Jen is the best human being on the entire face of this planet. We stan Jen all the time. But yeah, Witchblood #5, it really did feel like a filler issue. It felt like I could have gone without it. Still, I absolutely love this book. I love how stylized it is. I love the characters. It's going to be a really great trade read for a lot of people. It's going to be it's going to be like one of my favorite books, I feel like, to recommend to people because it's just so wacky and colorful. And I feel like average people could get into it.
Yeah. And especially Vault does such a good job at doing these like genre books. And I feel like this is really like millennial. Is it millennial like Buffy or Charmed?
It does. Almost. It feels like millennial Buffy and Charmed combined.
Or maybe Gen Z Buffy or Charmed.
Ooh.
I really like it.
It's very good. That's all you need to know. It's very good. It's very fun. We're having a grand old time with it.
Yes.
And that's all you need to know. But there was another Volt comic that came out this week as I try to put everything back. The last book that you will ever read. Except it wasn't. So haha, joke.
It was last week.
Was this last week?
It was, yeah.
Oh, last book you'll ever read. Do you have thoughts on this? Because it's a Cullen Bunn book. I feel like all Cullen Bunn books are kind of the same.
I can tell you. I mean, I can show you. I got the spicy cover.
Wait, there's a spicy cover?
Yeah. I don't know if you can see what's going on there.
I need you to send me a full image of that immediately because I did not know that there was a spicy cover. And if I had known that there was a spicy cover, I would have bought the spicy cover.
That's the bottom of the cover. So someone is laying there.
Just put two and two together.
And then fill in the blank of what's going on. Yeah, I got the spicy cover. I really like it.
I didn't know there was a spicy cover.
That being said, I think I enjoyed it because there was a spicy cover. This book is not spicy.
It is not a spicy book.
I think the premise was really cool, where it's like this author writes a book, and it starts to. The book is basically about how everyone in humanity basically wants to go apeshit on one another, but really doesn't, and how we lean into our better
We
angels.
as a society.
We as a society, you know, are really just like pushing down the brutal.
It's the Purge. It's kind of like the Purge,
Yes.
but more paranormal.
Yeah. I liked it. I wish that it was spicier. Like I literally want to see what's happening on this cover right here. I want to see that in the issue. I want to see a big old orgy of this going on in the issue. Maybe I'll get that in another one. That being said, I really liked it. Things start to go apeshit, and they blame it on this book. They blame it on the last book.
And they blame it on the writer, and so she has to hire a person, and his
And
one
she tells him,
contingency,
don't read it.
Yeah, you can't read my book. It's every Cullen Bunn book ever. He does, every time we turn around, it's another paranormal, psychological thriller type book. And I'm not kidding. He's got a dartboard somewhere with all of these different plots, and he spins a wheel and he throws a dart. He lands on one. He spins another one. He throws another dart.
It's the episode of South Park where they have, was it a dolphin? Basically get the balls out of the tank. Was that South Park? Maybe someone correct me, but there's a South Park episode where a little dolphin is a story generator for Family Guy.
Yep.
And it's like, how weird is it that South Park is making fun of Family Guy, because they could both be like the same stupid show. I don't know, whatever. But anyways, the last book that you'll ever read, I would recommend picking it up. I apparently I don't have beef with Cullen Bunn like you do, apparently.
I don't have beef. I just think that they're all the same book.
I do kind of get that, because I think that he specializes in that horror, like you said, psychological, maybe a little bit sci-fi types of books. I think that Cullen Bunn is known among people who read a lot of books, but I don't think that he's as well known as, say, Donny Cates. Mm-hmm. So I would really like to see Cullen Bunn do stories like Venom and Thor, and to get that chance. But in the meantime, I'll keep reading the last book. I'm going to read the next last book.
The next to last book. I only have two more books. One that I'll talk about briefly, and the one that I kind of want to scream about for good reasons, I guess.
Wow. So just two more indies total?
Two more indies, two more books total.
Got it.
I did read We Don't Kill Spiders. I didn't hate it. I didn't love it.
It's like it's a detective, but like in Viking Norway.
But it's not. It's about a witch in Viking Norway who gets accused of a crime. Her entire family is murdered, and then they come back and she is being accused of the crime again. So then, I guess yeah, she does have to figure it out. I didn't hate this book. I feel like I would definitely enjoy this by trade. Kind of reminds me of Clan Killers by Aftershock Comics. I will say the coloring in this book is absolutely gorgeous. All these shades of like pinks and blues, and it's totally a bisexual palette that I kind of like dig right now.
Bisexual lighting.
Bisexual lighting.
It can't choose what it wants, but it can't
choose what it wants. I think that the character designs are really cool. This is definitely one of the better Scout comics I think that I've read. Not enough to where I want to add it to my pool, but enough where I would read the trade. Mm-hmm. And I feel like the last Scout book I felt like this with was maybe Frank at Home on the Farm. So it's been a minute. I would say pick this up if you like witches, if you like old fantasy kind of thrillers. This one was not awful. It was pretty good.
Okay. I think it's only supposed to be 3 issues. So you did, I would say, even though I picked it up and haven't read it yet, because I literally got it yesterday. So I would say maybe continue picking it up if you enjoyed it, even though it's only 3 issues, or because it's only 3 issues.
Do you have any other books?
I do. I'll go through them really quick, because I have a feeling I know it's going to be, there should be 2 books for your last books?
I don't. I only have one.
Oh.
What is the
Okay,
other
then.
one?
I figured that the 2 last books that you have would be these 2.
Did that come out last week?
I thought so.
It must be somewhere. So Alice in Leatherland continues to be very, very good. It's very, very
Maybe it
great.
didn't.
I
I'm
think
so
we talked.
confused
I
now.
could have swore we talked about it.
Maybe we did, and maybe,
I think you just haven't read it.
I just haven't read it.
I'm 90% sure we talked about it. But it was very good. I love Alice in Leatherland. We only have 1 issue left, and I'm so sad. But read the book.
The other books that I got, that some of these I have read, some of them I haven't. I'm just going to go like balls to the wall on some of these.
Okay.
Worst Dudes, number 3. I haven't read it yet, but I really love this series. I'm literally opening this up for the first time, and I'm imagining I'm just going to see like a giant dong in the first couple of pages.
As you did with issue 2.
I don't, but I see other fun things.
Okay. Love that for you.
Yeah. So I really like that series. Out of Body, number 3. Peter Milligan. It's getting weird.
I mean, it's Peter Milligan. What do you expect?
Yeah. I haven't read this issue, so I don't know how weird this one gets, but the rest of it's been pretty darn weird. For some reason, X-Men 2 made it into that stack. Wind, number 9. I'm probably going to drop this book on single issues, just because I feel like it falls to the end of my stack each week. Phantom on the Scan, issue number 3, also came out last week, I believe. This is a really weird book. People have powers, and it's because of something, and they're all trying to figure out a mystery with it. It's weird. I hope that people do pick this up in a trade, because it's really good. And guess who it's written by?
Who?
Colin Bunn.
Oh, man.
Yeah. So it's going to be weird, and it's going to be a little bit wacky. We also got Shadow Doctor number 5 ended last week. Another great book. This one's probably going to be one of my top books for the year, as far as like independent books. Yeah. In case I haven't described the premise, there is a black man in the 20s or 30s, whenever, who ends up being a doctor for Al Capone, and he can't get a job because he's black, or not. Sorry, let me rephrase that. He can't get a job because white people, being white people, are racist, and they're not giving him a job, even though, so anyways, he can't get a job. The only person that will give him one is Al Capone, but he ends up doing some dirty shit. This one ended the series, and I feel like it ended pretty well. It's based off of a real story. The author's grandfather, it's based off of his experiences. Please pick this up when it comes out in trade, because Shadow Doctor was really good. For some reason, I have Gru meets Tarzan. I haven't read it. I think I went through it briefly. Black Caravan, which is published by Scout, did Gods of Brutality. It looks pretty metal, and I like it.
That is cool.
Let's see what else here. I also got this Sweet Horizon Zero Dawn Liberation cover, just because it's Peach Momoko, and I don't actually play this game, but my partner does, so I figured they would really like it. And I'm like, there you go. And then they bring me donuts. So, okay. I also bought this really cool Star Trek cover.
Ooh, that is cool.
Even though I don't really like the Star Trek comics. And then the last thing on my list, Dune, Blood of the Sardaukar.
I love that cover. It's so cool.
Well, I hate using this term, but I got the Virgin cover as well. This was a really good one-shot, set basically in between where the other Dune comic book is and where the actual Dune storyline. It's kind of in the middle there. It was really good, and I appreciated that it was a one-shot. And you all know how much I love Dune.
She is the Dune stan.
I am a Dune stan, 100%. Okay, so that's pretty much all the books that I got. I know that you are waiting to talk about Seven Secrets. Please spoil everything for me.
I'm spoiling Seven Secrets, because listen, I can't keep it, and I can't do this. Okay, so Seven Secrets number 11 is fucking bonkers. All right, we find out who the traitor is. this is a double whammy with spoilers. Okay,
Wow.
double whammy with spoilers. We find out who the traitor is. I won't say explicitly who the traitor is, but I'm very fucking upset. But I feel like with what I'm about to say, you might know who the traitor is.
Oh goodness.
So in the last page, last 2 pages, Josue knows how excited I am.
Okay, yeah. Josue has been waiting all week to hear your Suicide Squad thoughts and Seven Secrets thoughts. SSSS.
I am screaming. So we all know how I feel about a certain character, right? We all know how I feel about a certain character. I am very sad about this revelation, but I'm also very excited.
Really quick, for anyone who has not read, I know you're right there. Whoever hasn't read Seven Secrets, can you give them, like, what's the pitch for Seven Secrets? Like, what is...
I don't know what the pitch is for Seven Secrets. I just know that it is very good. There are 7 secrets, some magical, some mystical, some downright fucking crazy.
And there's like a secret society who trains to keep them.
There's a secret society who trains to keep them. Some people have to hold briefcases. The other people have to protect those people and not let them drop the briefcase. There are trials, there are tribulations. This book is the next saga. There are tons of characters, tons of people of color. It's got anime influences on every page. It is my favorite book in the whole world right now. And the reason why I'm about to spoil it, so mute your phones or whatever, mute whatever you got to do. I'm very sad about this revelation, but I'm also very proud.
Die? Who dies?
Better yet, Eman is gay.
Oh.
Eman is gay with Kanto.
Okay.
Listen, Tom Taylor.
I love it.
Tom Taylor listened. Tom Taylor listened. He made it gay. I am sad that it's my husband. Listen, I have hopes. Maybe my husband is bi. If he's not, that's fine. Good for him. But the fact that he's gay, I'm literally in my break room at work enjoying my lunch, and I decide I'm going to read Seven Secrets. I get to the last page, and the literal scream that came out of my mouth made one of my coworkers come running to check on me. And I had a very awkward experience when I had to explain it was how a comic ended. Eman is fucking gay, you guys.
Okay.
He's also gay with Kanto, who is also gay. What the fuck? So I basically just, who's the traitor at that point.
Yeah.
But, this is my favorite series on the entire planet for other reasons, but the fact this was already almost like a perfect book for me. I really love this book. Aside from the one issue that was meant, I think, to be a filler issue between arcs.
Was that the one where they go over the Rainbow Bridge?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. That was.
There's one issue that 6? Feels very awkward, but then this series continues to go. I feel like this is going to become a saga for me where I read it every single year. And I'm just going to enjoy it. I'm going to find out things and notice things and I love this book. And they made it fucking gay. They made it gay. And I even tweeted Tom Taylor and Daniel D. Nicole. I was just like, look, thank you for the last page, And it's funny because Daniel D. Nicolo and Tom Taylor are very aware of what a big simp for Eman I am. So I'm pretty sure that them in the background are like, she doesn't even know that he's gay. She doesn't even know. But I'm still I'm so happy for him. Good for him. Good for both of them. But apparently issue 12 is going to be even more insane. So if I die from a heart attack, you know why.
Yeah. So we've got 1 month.
We've got 1 month. You've got 1 month left on this planet with me. So get in your time while you can, guys. But it's Seven Secrets number 11. Definitely Superman, Superboy, whatever you want to call it. I thought that was the book of the week. And then I read number 11.
Well, that book's from this week and Superman's from last week. So.
Okay, so it's fair. This is still my book of the week. It's fine.
Go.
It's fine. It's great. It's the best book. It's the best series. I love the series. It's great. It will never betray me. More people need to be reading this because I feel like it is one of those series that people are missing. And it's one of the best things Boom has ever published. Yeah. It's one of the best indie books. It's full of people of color. It's full of genders and identities and
it's gay. It's gay.
How many books like this can you get a black man a black woman and a gay man at the forefront. None.
There's not many.
There's not many. I love Seven Secrets, y'all.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Yeah. I would not have been reading Seven Secrets if it wasn't for you basically saying that it was your favorite book. Because I read that first issue and I'm like, I hate this. And I tried reading it again and I hated it. And then I finally read the trade and I'm like, okay, this is a really good book. I think I read it all in one sitting.
You do, yeah. And I wasn't even going to pick up the first issue. I picked it up because I'm like, it's a boom #1. It's Tom Taylor. What if it goes to multiple printings? Let me just pick it up anyway. And I became obsessed with it from the get-go. So this book is just insanity to me. And I love it. And I need you all to love it. And yeah, comics are great.
Comics are great.
Comics are great.
Well, that's all the comic books that I read. I plan on doing a little bit of reading. Do you have anything else you want to talk about?
I have real quick because we're running over on time. Real quick, Jen sent me a box of goodies because she loves me. Not only did she send me a box of goodies, I'm actually more excited to talk about these.
Yeah.
So let me pull these up. So I also have to give out a shout out to my girl Sheena in the chat because Sheena sent me a little letter and a gift with some very lovely Yara Floor stickers because she knows that I am the queen of the Yara Floor fan club. Greg, I'm sorry. I am the
you are the
member.
Queen. Yeah.
I'm the queen member. And then literally the same day I got a magical box with no name on it. And I'm like, where the hell are these coming from? And it is, and I saw these on Instagram the other day and was like, these are the coolest thing ever. Jen, my lovely co-host and best friend, sent me, these are makeup brushes with Yara Floor on them. Like, how fucking cool is that? How many people can say that they have makeup brushes with Wonder Woman Yara Floor? Not only that, but I got a lipstick with motherfucking Yara Floor on it, and it is my shade of red that I wear all the time. I also got a lipstick with Princess Leia from, oh my god, how do beauty YouTubers do this? But they have Leia Organa on them, and it's just the coolest, most thoughtful gift in the entire world. And like, I don't even want to use them. I'm like, I don't want to like get them dirty. I just kind of want to stare at them. I'll probably use them at some point, especially the lipsticks, because these are the two shades that I ironically wear all the time.
That's excellent because I am so picky with my like lipstick and my makeup. I was going to say flavors. Colors.
Your flavors.
And it's funny because I saw that Instagram post. I think Joelle Jones posted that she got sent those.
Yeah.
And I saw them and I was like, I need to get those for Mars. And then I saw the other stuff and I'm like, yep, Mars's birthday is coming up. And I think it got there in time or maybe the day later.
It was the day later. It was very cool. But then you sent me a box of goodies.
I did send you a box
of just goodies. Stuff. So we'll just run through some of them real quick. Some of them I were expecting. Some of them I had no idea were coming. So Orphan and the Five Beasts #2. I'm really excited to read it because it's more Thunder Thighs. Mm-hmm. So excited for more Thunder Thighs. The Barbalian Red Planet cover. Yeah. I don't care. I need 4 copies of this. Yep. I love this cover. Saga #9 because, and I also got Rat Queens #10 because I unfortunately had a bad experience where my copies were hanging on a wall and got sun bleached. I cried about them. So of course Jen comes in to fix everything.
I was like, I got you, boo.
Jen comes in to fix everything. And then of course, Spiritual Boyfriend. Now, can I just say, I opened this package in front of my grandmother and she saw this cover and
she got thirsty.
I got some looks, but even worse so, or it's not worse so, but you also sent me Lonely Receiver.
Oh my god.
You sent me Lonely Receiver, which I am very excited to read. I've been waiting for this package to come in specifically so I could read this. I sat this on the table and I walked away.
Issue 4.
She picked it up and she was flipping through it and she got to that point. And I just kind of looked at her and she kind of looked at me and there was a moment of solidarity. And she's like,
Grandma knows what's up.
She's like, I've seen stuff like this before. And I'm like, you saw stuff like this. I don't want to talk anymore about it. We're going to go on to the next one. But the one that I'm really excited about, because I had no idea you were sending it, is Don't Go Without Me. And you've been talking about this since you picked it up. So I am ridiculously excited to read both of these because I feel like I've been in a comic slump and I haven't been reading a ton of comics. So I feel like this is going to help reignite my spark and makes me really happy. And I just love you so much. And you're the best. You're the best co-host in the whole world.
I'm literally the worst. I don't. Please don't like inflate my ego. Please don't say
Jen is
false things about me. I am a trash, garbage human being, and I'm trying to make up for it.
Y'all wish that you could have a comic book BFF and co-host like Jen, because, like, listen,
I'm the worst.
She great.
Oh, thank you. I'm literally the worst. You are literally the better half of this show. No. So, but you're welcome. I've been meaning to send that stuff out for a hot minute. And your birthday was a perfect excuse.
It was a perfect excuse.
And now I have several things that I forgot to send you.
8 million things.
What was it? Not All Robots. I'll send that out. And I think there's several other things that you'll get.
There are several other things.
Yeah.
So, you know. But I guess before we wrap things up, reminder that next weekend is Free Comic Book Day at your local comic shop. It is delayed this year. Free Comic Book Day usually happens the first week in May. This year they pushed it to August 14th. I guess because of the pandemic and stuff. But this is, I think, personally, a huge Free Comic Book Day, not only because we didn't have one last year, but looking at the titles that are offered this year. Usually Free Comic Book Day titles are just kind of like, here's some comics to get people into comics or whatever. This year, we're getting a King Shark one-shot. We're getting a We Live one-shot.
A Stray Dogs.
A Stray Dogs one-shot.
That's gonna be the hot one.
A House of Slaughter one-shot. It's fucking insanity. So if you are excited about any of these titles, contact your local comic book shop, because a lot of comic book shops will pull these titles for their subscribers. So if you are a subscriber at your local shop, let them know, hey, I'm really interested in title XYZ. Sometimes they have a limit, but they'll try to pull what they can for you. Otherwise, make sure that you're there early, because between We Live, Stray Dogs, and House of Slaughter, it's going to be insane.
And really quick, because I do want to say, first of all, Josue and I will be at our local shop, Books with Pictures, and we'll be there volunteering. So I'm really excited to do that and just be able to hang out, because I haven't seen Josue in several months. Normally we'd bump into each other on Wednesdays, but haven't been able to. So I'm really excited to hang out with you next Saturday. But what I really also want to say is that when it comes to Free Comic Book Day, when I worked at a store in Florida, there was a perception among some people that every comic book in the store was free. That is not the case. There is a select portion of comics that are free, but it is free to you, not to your comic book store. Your comic book store still has to pay for these titles. So please, when you're there, please go get some free comic books. Normally stores will limit them to about 5 per person, 5 per family, whatever it may be. Your comic book stores do have to purchase these. Please buy something from your shop. This is why your shop is there. Maybe start a pull list. If you,
add some things to your pull list.
Add some things to your pull list. I think that we give out great recommendations, and we are very brutally honest about the things that we don't recommend. So maybe go to your shop, buy a couple of trade paperbacks, go ahead and tell them we fucking sent you. And I'm just kidding, don't do that. Make it sound like a threat. But buy something from your local shop, support them on the regular. I know that Books with Pictures is going to be doing, they're going to have artists there. They're going to have a kids craft table. I don't know if there's going to be cosplayers. I assume that there's going to be cosplayers there. But Free Comic Book Day is really, really fun. Sometimes it's like the one day a year where people actually go to their comic book store. That's obviously not the case. I go there every week, sometimes multiple times a week. So please support your local comic book store. Buy something, maybe buy them lunch or, whatever, but just support your local comic book store, because these books that are going into your hand for free, they actually end up having to pay for. So support your local comic book store. That's
simple as that.
Simple as that. Yep. Okay. Well, folks, that's the end of the show. But I
It
want to
was a big
say
week.
it was a very big 2 weeks. So I want to say thank you, Mars. I love you. Thank you for being here.
Love you.
Down in the links, the description below, there's a link to your channel. There's also a link to C List Eman, who did our really cool intro, which is going to be our outro. So see y'all later.
Bye.
Bye. Oh, there we go. Maybe it'll go. Are we doing this? Who knows?